You are listening to Zen and the Art of Triathlon.
Well, hey there, all you triathlon studs and studettes. Welcome to another great episode of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. You know, every once in a while I need to remind myself to introduce myself to myself. Who is your host, and why should you be listening to this podcast? There's plenty of endurance stuff out there. So what's special about ZenTri? Well, we are the longest running and original endurance podcast. Zen and the Art of Triathlon got its start so far back I can barely remember the year, either 2004, 2005. And during that time, I've been your host the entire way, and I have done 13 Ironmans, a whole bunch of half Ironmans, and I've done some ultra marathons, and I even swam the full length south to north of Lake Tahoe, which is 22 miles. And it's over 6,000 feet above sea level. So I am your endurance guide over the next few hours. That's a little bit about me, but let's talk about the show. Oh, and also I am a triathlon coach, an endurance coach, a running coach, ultra running coach, a swim coach. I do all that good stuff. And I'm a dad, and I also work full time, so I'm your typical age grouper. Woo! Okay. This episode of ZenTri, we have some cool stuff. I could not seem to get myself motivated enough to get a show together, get my act together enough to get a show together until we got Tawnee back on the show. She's been busy, and I just kept waiting for her to find time in her schedule, which she did, and we recorded the news for the triathlon industry earlier today. So we've got like an hour of that talking about Little Debbie Cake sponsoring the Chattanooga Ironman, why French people live in Canada, really important stuff. But no, lots of really cool triathlon stuff. And then also I have an interview with Mike Bestvina, who is one of the co-founders of Compete Hub, which is a triathlon website that helps you find races. And there's lots of businesses, there's lots of places that you can find out about races and such. And the reason I wanted to interview him is he reached out and decided to start sponsoring some shows. And I find it interesting in the story of how people start their own companies and get them rolling and get to be their own boss, and the struggles, like their own I love interviewing people. We've interviewed Flow Wheels. We've interviewed Trainer Road, the guys behind that, and small companies trying to break through, and big companies as well. Arshad from Amrita Nutrition, and it's just really, really cool, because I think a lot of us out there are self-starters, or else you wouldn't be doing triathlon or ultra running or whatever. And the side of starting your own business and taking that gutsy leap out there is really cool. So I love interviews like this. Okay, so we have that. And then we have the training log, lots and lots of training log. And then we have some questions that I'll answer, mixed in with some sponsor stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with the news. This is Tawnee and I talking earlier today about all kinds of cool stuff. And it is brought to you by Sufferfest. Make sure to sign up for the... I got a video from them I need to check out. You get a 10% discount off of Sufferfest videos with the discount code ZTSuffers, all caps. Again, you can download and train with these kick-ass videos. They are really cool while you're on the trainer or while you're on the treadmill, with a discount code of all caps ZT, as in ZenTri, Suffers, all one word. Get 10% off, man. Definitely cool. All right, let's get started with the news. And here is Tawnee. Oh, by the way, watch how fast I lose her attention when I start talking about geography. She does not care about geography. Oh my gosh, it is so funny. That is really, really good. And then we start talk about triathlon again, but she zooms right back in. That's pretty cool. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get started with the news. Here we go.
We are podcasters, totally the same.
We know who's in charge of ZenTri when I'm sitting here waiting for you to call in on the news.
Sorry.
What if I was in traffic, Tawny? What if I was in the middle of an intersection with my laptop ready to record, and I'm about to get run over by trucks, and I'm like, hold on. I gotta wait for Tawny to finish editing another podcast.
It's so important, man. I've been totally slacking on my podcast this last week too. I just after that trip, it kind of threw off my schedule, and I've been trying to get back in the groove of getting shit posted.
Did you get to experience any awesome East Coast weather on your trip to the East Coast?
We had a couple freak little rainstorms happen, and then the last day that we were there, the last day and a half or so, some thunder sort of set in, but it wasn't anything spectacular. But yeah, like you said though, it was very just it went from one extreme to the other in a drop of a dime.
When my buddy Morgan came to do the Iron Baby last year before, he's from San Diego, and he was like, we had a weather front come through, and he was like, what the hell is happening? And the rest of us are like, oh, this is normal, it'll pass. And he's like,
right.
I think the world is ending right now. There's lightning everywhere. And we're like, yeah, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
It'll be cool.
Yeah.
So.
All right, what are we talking about today?
Okay, we got some cool news stories. And what do you want to start with?
Did you send me? Do we have anything else to talk about?
There's the ones that we talked about.
Okay.
And then also I found that there's a big meeting going on between, or it already happened or something, between ITU and Ironman. And it's apparently I think USAT was involved too. And it's to try to get each other aligned on standards in the sport.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I like the idea of that because, isn't even water temperature for wetsuits and stuff different?
Yeah, wetsuits. Helmets is one that came to mind to me. Yeah. And then with the whole Crowe issue with being disqualified for the sleeveless, the the covered shoulders issue on the swim. Yeah. And it turns out, it's a standard in one sport. In one sport, it's fine. Or one regulation, it's fine, and another one, it's not. So it's too much it's not too much, but it's just difficult for everybody to remember. And sometimes you don't even know, if an event is USAT sanctioned or not, or, obviously if you're doing an Ironman, it's WTC, but yeah, it's not like that information is at the top of the list for everyone to think about. Right, and... Okay, so what's going on is there was in the news, there was a meeting set up and happened today.
Wait, are we recording right now?
Yeah, I've been recording. I've been recording since breakfast. I've just been waiting for you to get on the phone.
I love this show.
It's on all the time. And let's see, where did I leave? So people are really excited about this to see, because it's frustrating. Imagine being a European pro, right? Mm. And remember the helmet issue with the cask, or who was it?
Yeah, I'm trying to. That was just last year, wasn't it? Yeah. It wasn't
was it Starkey? Starkowitz.
Was it Starkey helmet issue? Okay, yeah. Well, and you don't want to piss Starkey off, as we all know, right?
Oh yeah. So they were like, they were going to take away his win, and then they decided because he was wearing a helmet that wasn't sanctioned in the United States or something like that. But then in some races in the United States, they say it's okay. Kona, because of the European presence. Well, then people are like, well, Miami or Florida is so European and Central and South American that your standards are all over the place. And then the thing, like I was saying, with Crowe being disqualified from half Ironman Hawaii, Hanu.
Yeah, that was an unfortunate situation. That one, as we talked about before, definitely kind of crazy.
Yeah, and because he was wearing just imagine like a rash guard that covers your shoulders a little bit. It's kind of like a skin suit kind of material. And in USAT rules, that's not allowed, I guess, unless you're wearing a full wetsuit. and since it wasn't a wetsuit swim, it was illegal.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're falling into what is Hawaii? It's this weird range of rules and places and people, and so it gets weird.
Interestingly, I just pulled up this article on USA Triathlon's website, and their list of most common rule violations. It goes through 11, but can you guess what the top 3 most common rule violations are?
Riding your drafting on the bike.
Actually not. That's number 5, so it's on the list, but it's not top 3.
Lance Armstrong not strapping on his helmet correctly.
Ding, ding, ding! But actually, you are kind of right. Chin straps is number 2. So
wow, they penalized people for real, and they didn't bust Lance for it.
Well, he's Lance. Don't worry, it'll get him. It'll get him. It'll bite him in the butt. Some years from now.
Someday he'll get in trouble for something.
It looks like people are actually, according to the way I'm reading this, is that people are starting to unbuckle their chin strap before they're dismounting their bike. Is the most common issue in that?
Well, that's not smart.
But you think about it, though, I can see how I could totally imagine that being a very common thing of people just, trying to get ready for the run.
Yeah, not on purpose. It's just kind of like a reflex.
But still, I mean, it's like people, taking off their seatbelt when they're still 2 miles away from home. Uh-huh. Or like when USA is playing Portugal in soccer, and in the last 20 seconds, Portugal sweeps in and makes a goal. When USA thought they had it in the bag.
Yeah, that's a bunch of crap. Did you see my tweeting about that? Like, I didn't know that the ref could just add arbitrary time,
Well, I don't know anything about soccer, to be honest. I
thought I knew about soccer.
But we were all talking about how 4 minutes is the common amount of time to add on, and then it actually was supposed to be that. Then so why did they add on that extra 5th minute? And then it was that last, obviously, 5th minute that...
Yeah. So... I do like that rule, though, right? Because what it does is, hey, you want to waste time during the game and do your fake little dives and not throw in the ball fast enough, then, hey, we're going to add more time to the clock. So you're going to have to play anyway. So go ahead and do that all you want. And,
anyways, you like that little tangent and little segue I had there for you? All right. So, okay, guess the other 2. They're the most common rule violations.
Listening to headphones.
No, but that probably. Oh, that's on the list. It's just not top.
Unless it's the ZenTri or Endurance Planet podcast, then you get time taken off of your time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the most common one is helmets, actually. So this is relevant to our conversation right now. And people not wearing helmets that are approved by USA Triathlon.
Yeah.
And it's actually, for them, it's a complete DQ if you wear the wrong kind of helmet.
Yeah.
And then the third most common rule violation for all you guys out there listening is outside assistance.
Oh, gorilla suit.
Yeah, or whatever. But yeah, you cannot have your family or your friends do anything for you.
On Slow Twitch, there was this big thread that was so funny that went on forever about somebody complaining that he got disqualified or penalized or something because a friend ran next to him in a gorilla suit.
Oh, yeah.
Just for a few 20 seconds. They have it on video, right?
Is that the Barnana gorilla suit guy?
No, I think it was just a friend. It was a prank just to make him crack up, right?
Yeah.
And then so the official penalized him or disqualified him or something like that, right? And the guy was so mad. And then this thread goes on for weeks, people making fun of it and everything. And then, because that's stupid. And then but then somebody posted a picture of one of the very, very top pros maybe at Hawaii, on the run, and their coach next to them, cheering them on and telling them, who was behind them or, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. That's outside assistance. That under the same rule that the guy in the gorilla suit got penalized. Well, the other guy got penalized for his friend in the gorilla suit. They're like, well, then you can't do that either, But it's like the whole Lance thing. Are you going to penalize Macca or whatever for somebody, helping him out on the side? No. So
I think even USA Triathlon or the folks behind all this, they probably have a hard time too, because it's still, it's a case by case thing.
Yeah.
And it's just got to be hard to monitor all this.
Ironman has the 4 meter or 4 bike lengths. drafting rule, and USAT is 3, for example.
Yeah, that's a huge one for sure.
They need to fix that.
I mean, I would guess in my own experience racing, that would probably be if you're smart enough to get all these other things right, like strap your chin strap and all that. The whole bike length thing, and you know how crowded it gets on bike courses, and you may not have any intention of cheating whatsoever, but it can get sketchy out there when all of a sudden there's just tons of people around you, and you're like, I don't want to cheat. Where do I need to be?
I'm trying not to cheat.
Yeah. I swear.
I hate cheating. Oh, man, if I ever get penalized for drafting, I'm going to get so mad because I try so hard to not draft.
Me too. You know? And I get nervous.
And like I see people drafting, it pisses me off. And if I get caught at the wrong moment, at the wrong time, having to wait behind somebody because I'm trying to get around and I get busted, I'm going to be so mad.
I get so nervous when I hear the motorcycle coming up behind me. It's like the same thing when a cop's driving behind you. I'm like, oh my God, I hope I'm doing everything perfectly right now. And I think it was last year actually during Oceanside. How often does this happen when the moto actually yells over to you like, nice job, because I passed a guy. It was on that last stretch of Oceanside, like the last 7 miles or so, where it's kind of like flat back to transition, and I made a really good pass. And the moto guy like rolled up next to me. He was like, nice pass or something. I was like, yes, bonus.
I think when they get up next to me, they yell things like, you look like a grounded albatross that's found a bicycle. And you're in the wrong sport, dude. Have you ever tried basketball?
Yeah, right.
It's this long monologue, like, have you considered trying a different sport?
Look, dude.
We're trying so hard.
Well, okay, so you said, where'd you hear about this meeting between ITU, Ironman, and USAT?
Let me find it real quick. Let me find it real quick. Triathlon. It was on triathlon.competitor.com.
Oh, okay, so it's been kind of published and stuff.
I got to get the advertisement out of the way. I can't see it.
Ah!
Okay, so I'm doing that right there. ITU Ironman meet to discuss triathlon rules. 21 hours ago. And
Gee, Mr. Timely Newsman.
ITU. Dude, it's either this or file paperwork at my desk,
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so ITU, USAT, and Ironman. So, so listen to this list. Andrew Messick, Gergely Marcus, who's the ITU Sport Director, Enrique Quisada, ITU Sport Results Director. Okay, wait. Let me just say the ITU Technical Committee member. I got a comment on this, by the way. President Barry Siff, President of USAT. Beth Atnip, Ironman Director of Global Technical Operations. Jimmy Riccatello. If you don't know who he is, you should learn. Ironman Technical Director. He's the head ref and of Ironman. So he's the guy that decides, what's effective for drafting and not and stuff. And Steve McFessel, Ironman Managing Director of Global Operations, and Paula Newby-Fraser, Ironman International Relations. And of course, on Slow Twitch, they immediately found fault with this list.
Of course. Because what else?
No current active pros.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And no, how about an age grouper in there that's actually like an elite age grouper? Where's what's her face? I can't remember.
Meredith Kessler?
No, an age grouper.
Because don't they have the pro? Oh, yeah, the age groupers. But don't they have a pro?
Tawny Prazak?
I know, man. I would totally sit on that.
When are they going to send us? Oh, by the way, Tawny, check this out.
You have news?
Yes, I have news. Somebody emailed the race directors of the that not Norseman, but there's another race in Sweden, which is a swim run race.
Terrible.
And it's awesome. And they're trying to get us in.
Well, I'm down. That's going to put me outside my comfort zone. And that's taking away my strength on the bike.
The thing is you have to go as a duo, right? So it's you and me racing on
perfect.
racing together.
Because you're a good
so
swimmer.
I'll drag you through the swim.
Perfect.
And then you can convince me while I'm running that it doesn't hurt. And
Yay.
We can just alternate like that.
Yeah.
You can carry me on your back while you run.
Oh, yeah, man. I got to go work on my deadlifts and back squats in the gym so I can handle that load.
I'm going to be like a 200-pound tuna.
That just sounds weird in so many ways.
Yeah.
So wait, a real quick question. What rules that I'm guessing that the challenge series goes by USA Triathlon rules, or are they like do their own thing, or what's their government?
I bet it's some kind of international.
Because that's Felix something or other is the guy I think who's the main challenge guy, who I met in Kona a couple of years ago. But yeah, I want to know what kind of, because their races are becoming really popular, and I want to know what kind of rule regulations they go by.
Yep. So,
and then what
Challenge Atlantic City? Did that happen already, or is it going to happen?
Oh,
I think it's going
you know what? I was trying to figure that out myself. Yeah, I've seen through my like Maca X thread on Facebook and stuff a few things come up. I know they're all together for a camp. I just don't know if the race happened or is happening this weekend. I've been kind of off the...
Well, let's talk about what's going to happen this weekend, because this is going to be freaking great. Where'd it go? I have it in my... Oh, wait, hold on, everybody. I got to get it. Okay. I bet... You might not know about this, Tawnee.
I know. I'm like in suspense right now.
Okay, well, this doesn't... Okay, wait, I'll say that one for a minute. Okay. Press release from ITU. This weekend, you will be able to watch live coverage of both the men's and women's elite races at the ITU World Triathlon Chicago on Universal Sports Network.
Oh, yeah.
It will air exclusive national television and online coverage of the 2014 ITU World Champ Triathlon. Dang it. Chicago.
Wow.
June 28th and 29th. So that's this weekend. That's Saturday and Sunday. The women's race will air Saturday, the 28th, 1:30 p.m. live, 1:30 Eastern.
1:30. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. 1:30 Eastern.
Okay, followed by the men's event on Sunday, June 29th at 5 p.m. Eastern, live, both on air and online at universalsports.com to authenticated users if you somehow figure that out. And they should write that, if you somehow figure that out. And then following the live telecast, they'll air it again Saturday, the women's Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and the men's 9 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. Eastern. So Gwen Jorgensen she's freaking badass, and so you want to watch her race. She apparently can run, and the people start crying when she runs, and just give up and like just throw their bikes into the streets.
We're done. She's a gazelle, man.
Yeah, she's a freak of nature, man, and she's awesome to watch running. And I think she kind of like has to catch up on the run sometimes, and so that's something. And then she just like blows by everybody. So that's something to watch. I don't know about the guys' circuit, about who's kicking ass.
Well, you got the Brownlees, which I think Alstar, who's been plagued with injury and stuff. He just won Kitzbühel last weekend.
Saw that, yeah.
Yeah, along with Nicola Spierig, who just had a baby last year. And you know what they say, once you pop them out, you come back stronger.
Yeah, because you're like, nothing hurts that freaking bad.
Right?
How's your sprained ankle over there, buddy?
So yeah, that should be really good. And I love that they're making triathlon on this level free and accessible to peeps everywhere.
I'm so going to watch it. I'm so excited. It's on my calendar. It's really cool to, I'm going to try to have Kai watch it so he can see it. Yeah. So you can see like, people that are a little bit older than him, they're still young, but they're like, college age, like this is cool, man. This is something you can do when you get older, instead of just American football all the time. And, let's see. There's that, and then the Western States 100 is this weekend. Epic
race. There's a good documentary. I think it's called Western States or something.
Oh, it's Unbroken.
Unbreakable.
Unbelievable.
Man, we're just killing it with the details today. It's a great documentary, though. Man, okay, I think this is like, all right, everyone needs to make this endurance sports weekend. Watch Chicago. Watch Unbroken.
There's Ultra Run Live or Ultra Live. Crap, what is it? There's a website that's really good at covering ultras. and they might be covering it. So they set up cameras at the major aid stations. Ultra
That's
Live.
cool.
And so
Cool
you can
case.
watch races like that. It's freaking cool to see these guys blow by, running uphill at like a 6-minute mile on mile 80, you're like, wow.
Completely astonishing stuff. So wait,
Yeah.
who are the big players in terms of like the elite and or pros in ultra running that are going to be racing this year?
Maybe Tim Olson and maybe Rob Krar.
Is Anton Krupichka, my favorite name to
Krupichka?
say. Yeah, Krupichka. Is he racing?
I got a feeling that you two have like the same heritage, the same kind of last name. Like you should be able to say his name.
I know. I
It's
just
like I'm
always
supposed to be able to say Swedish names, but I can't. birthday. Peter Tornholt just loves it whenever I keep trying to say his name. We've had a lot of emails back.
Yeah, he's like
Peter
Thor.
Tornholt, which means skull crusher in Viking.
Oh my god. That's so
So Western States 100. Man, I got so mad. I almost tweeted about it. Western State. I was trying to figure out when it was, right? Because I had a feeling it was coming up.
Hmm.
And I spent I swear to God, I spent 10 minutes on their website, like trying to find the date of the race. And I was so close to tweeting, stupid website design. This is horrible. You guys need to fix your website. Not like that, but just like, how can I? The first thing you want to do is the date of your race, and it's you get
that's
so
a good
involved
call.
with something, you forget like the obvious thing. It's like classic. And then I notice on the right hand side there's a countdown to the race.
Hello.
There's this big 4 days until June 28th race, and I was like, oh,
Hello,
there it is.
Captain Obvious.
Yeah. So
that starts on Saturday and ends on Sunday at some point.
yeah. Let's see if
I'm
I can
sure we have
find
some
the
Endurance Planet fans that are out there going to be racing.
entry news. I'm trying to see. Okay, here you go. Pam Smith, holy crap.
Oh, she's back.
Yeah. Rob Krar. Rob Krar's got the most badass beard in endurance sports. And that's Miguel Eras. Thomas Lorbel. Shit, I don't know who that is. But these people have won other races. Ryan Sandys. Natalie Moncler of France.
Where are you looking?
Under news, and then you scroll down under the press release, they start mentioning the field. But
Got it. Yeah, I was looking at just the entrance list, and what's cool is that the elites are they considered professionals in ultra running, or is it just kind of elite?
I don't know. I don't know how they do it. If you have to get
I mean,
card.
the vibe of like ultra running, and it's a lot more low key and
yeah, they might
Not
eventually,
this-
if they're not having an elite field, they might eventually get around to it, and that's a sign that your sport's made it. But that's also the sign that your sport's screwed.
they're starting to do. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Because there was a time in triathlon there wasn't a pro field, and it was so much fun. And then there got to be where they decided to break it into pros and amateur, and then it's more about money and points and things like that. They take it too seriously. So, let's see.
It's a good weekend in sports then.
Yeah.
We got the soccer game, another soccer game coming up Thursday for USA playing Germany. And that's, I know for us, it's like 9 a.m. in the morning. And I think I'm going to maybe take a few minutes to go walk around, like just see what the local bars and restaurants look like around town to see how crazy people are actually getting over it.
Yeah.
Because people are like, I'm not going to work. I'm going to go watch soccer.
What day is the game?
Uh-huh.
What day is the game on?
Thursday. So for you, it'd probably be around 11 o'clock start time, I think.
Oh, okay.
So.
Let's see. And then how about another piece of news about some kind of horrible junk food being endorsed by our sport?
Oh my gosh, we had the biggest rant on this on Endurance Planet on last week's show with Lucho as the ultra runner, and even though it's not technically ultra runner-ish content, it still was relevant enough. A listener kind of brought it to our attention as something we should talk about. So yeah, I ranted on it, but I want to hear what your take is, because I'm actually seeing like both sides of it, sort of like people getting enraged and how could Ironman align with a company like this, but then other people that are saying just kind of like, who the heck cares? Like, get on with your lives. So what do you think?
I think that Ironman, so what we're talking about is Hostess is the parent brand, right? And Little Debbie is one of these snack cakes that if you eat enough of those, you will die soon. Get sued. They're really bad for you. They're junk food, and Chattanooga, which is in the deep South, which is a part of the country just loves like moon pies and Twinkies and stuff like that. So I could totally see if there was an Ironman that was going to do it, this would be the one.
Yeah.
Picked up Hostess and Little Debbie cakes as the title sponsor.
Yeah.
For their Ironman, right?
Yeah.
And I say, okay. So Lucho was saying, you teach your kids to eat right. You're putting responsibility on other people to teach to teach on how to eat and what to eat.
Well, he's saying that it's on the parents. Don't expect other people to, raise your kid.
I say that that's living in fantasy land and ignoring the actual reality that's going on out there is the masses are not educated in food, and that the rest of us have to a lot of us have to suffer the consequences of a culture that's ignorant about food. So our insurance rates, my son's friends are constantly eating crap, and I'm having to constantly undo it and fight a battle that doesn't need to be fought. And that if you're a big corporation that's a leader in an industry and people are looking up to you, that you are now an institution. Ironman is an institution, and you are in a position of authority, right? And for them, it is a choice on who they pick as their sponsors. And if they pick something that is obviously bad for the health of America, and we are in a health crisis situation, then we have a right to be pissed about this and say that this sucks, that this is no good. That the impact from them picking Little Debbie's is actually a lot. That sends a message. There's all these kids watching all these adults, doing this triathlon. Why do you think that Little Debbie advertises all over it, right? It's because it works. It gets people buying their stuff, and so all these kids growing up thinking, oh yeah, that's cool, they eat this crap, they sponsored an Ironman, so it can't be that bad, and if you're in a position of authority and you have a responsibility when you have that much power to do the right thing, right? It's kind of like being a cop at an intersection. People are looking to you as an example, and if not doing the right thing is an abuse of your authority, and they had a choice, right? They can pick a different sponsor than that, and so the fact that they picked this one shows poor choice, in my opinion. That's my rant.
Yeah.
I'm mad about it.
I want more disclosure on like dollars behind this, because as I brought up on the show, I mean, you had to imagine that someone at Ironman and WTC had to, sat around the big meeting table and said, look, like guys, we might get some heat for this particular sponsor. Is the money that we're bringing in from it worth it? Like that had to have come up, right? Like I'm hoping. And then I'm sure the conclusion was that the money was too great to pass up. And bam, I mean, money speaks.
I'm really disappointed in the Ironman brand for doing that.
And someone had this picture floating around, they posted it on my Facebook wall of the same like logo, Little Debbie and her little face, and it's like a overweight girl and it says Lil Diabetes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you should find that one and post it with this podcast on your blog.
So the other mindset is, kind of like Lucho was alluding to was, hey, there are people out there that really dislike being told, what to do and what to eat and whatever else. And it's a little bit of the cowboy mentality. I'm not saying they're that bad, but it's a little bit of the cowboy mentality. I just need to look out for myself and screw everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. But the reality is we all live, unfortunately, in a big community, in a big village, and what other people do does affect you. You can't ignore it. It really does affect you. Mm-hmm. And this was a strategic opportunity to where a little choice, a little bit of difference would have made a huge impact. And a bad choice makes a very big impact. And so, yeah, you don't need to bother people all the time about what to eat, but you could, at strategic times, say, okay, this is a better choice, and this is a better choice, And I've actually got a picture to show you. I want to get your reaction on the air if you haven't seen this.
I also think that, there's people like you on your show now and me on my show that we're at least doing our part to make our voices heard. And we have, good enough followings for sure to at least bring light to these kind of issues rather than letting just them fall through the cracks. And that's how change happens. We get enough people kind of rallying against this sort of stuff. Yeah. To prevent it from happening in the future. I also saw that it's actually, just so we don't have anyone under the wrong impression, it's not Hostess that is like the governing company. It's McKee Foods.
Okay. Sorry, Hostess.
I just saw that. Yeah. But looking at this press release from Ironman, though, it's depressing to see that it's being branded as America's #1 selling snack, and more than 138 billion snacks have been sold since 1960, and And it's like, well, yeah, that may be the case, but does that make it right?
Doesn't make it right.
Yeah,
no,
absolutely not.
Just because something's popular doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it that it's not going to ruin things, on down the road. Wait, I got a picture for you.
I have done some consultations on nutrition and stuff with some clients in various parts of this country, and they're quite frankly are like, we don't have what you guys have in Southern California available in terms of Whole Foods and quality restaurants. We're known as fast food capitals of the world, and my argument to that then is let's try to make a change to that, rather than enforcing those ideals, and that if Little Debbie, quote unquote, stands for the tradition or, they're representative of that particular area, well, that doesn't mean it's right again. Let's. Yeah.
I mean, think about this. This was an opportunity for Ironman to really have a positive impact. I mean, what about the news story that Ironman turns down Little Debbie cakes as a sponsor? Because it's not healthy enough. Man, that would be awesome. And then people would go, what? They're not healthy? No, they're not.
No. And, to Lucha's point, I completely agree. It's on a parent and the parents to instill good values in the kids. But I'm also with you, too, that kids are going to be exposed to a ton of stuff out there. And a parent can't necessarily be in 100% control of everything that their kid is seeing. I see that you just sent me a link.
Yeah, and guess what? Some people aren't parenting. Some kids don't have parents out there, and so now I got to parent my kid and their kid.
Science porn.
I got to parent every kid on the freaking street nowadays, right? To keep them from when.
Oh my gosh.
That's a pretty good picture, isn't it?
Yeah. So for those who can't see right now, Brett just tweeted me or texted or sent me a lovely little image of a X-ray of a 900-pound man.
So you can see a skeleton.
It's quite disturbing because you see the skeleton underneath, which is
a normal skeleton.
Your skeleton doesn't get obese, but it doesn't even look real, and that's the sad thing, knowing that it probably is very real.
No, because other parents aren't parenting every kid like they're supposed to. Every time that Kai goes up and down the street and plays with all these other kids, he's being fed the worst snacks that you could ever imagine. Mm-hmm. And so leave it up to the other parents. No, you can't. We live in a community. Other people affect you. It's like pollution. It's like anything else. So at some point, if you're in a position of authority, you got to stand up for the right thing. And sometimes it's tough, but you got to do it. So that's where I'm at on that. That's where I am on that.
Yeah. Well, it should be interesting to see, so are they going to have like little, because I was looking this up when I was talking to Lucha. I don't even really know too much about Little Debbie's products. I'm assuming it's like Twinkie related things. So are they going to have those at the finish line? I don't know. I thankfully in a household that did not have this stuff in abundance.
Well, okay. So I grew up I was born in Cincinnati and then lived in Tennessee and then Alabama and then Texas, right? So when you go that path through Tennessee and Alabama, this stuff is considered a food group, right? And in Texas, it's not much better, but it's because we replaced that with just queso and
barbecue
and refried beans. So, I grew up going to the Cracker Barrel, right, for a family breakfast, and it's just all the food's brown. It's fried this, fried that. You try to find a vegetable, you can't find an unfried version of it. You find okra, well, it's fried okra, and then and everything's cooked in just the nastiest stuff. And then in the gift shop, it's moon pies, which is this bizarre food. I can't even describe what it is, but it's all different versions of sugar, fat, and salt. Yep. Kind of blended together with different.
Exactly.
They just kind of give it a different texture and a different name, and it's the same thing.
And you're so right on that. It's scary, and like the research that they do, like on having people come in and basically give their input on that perfect combination.
Yeah.
That's like then addictive and satiating, or should be, and then how they get us addicted to it, and sell it. Just
yeah, it's called mouthfeel is one thing that they study. And it's like when somebody puts it in their mouth, like, does it taste? There's like a perfect, like, crunchy, yet foamy, sweet, but with a little bit of salt. Like, you notice some of these products, the ones that are huge hits, you can very clearly nail down how they feel in your mouth. And they do that on purpose, like Oreos, right? Mm-hmm. And then, like Doritos and stuff like. There's crunch. It's all engineered and studied. And it's an artificial product, so they can make it exactly that you can't put it down. And that the Pringles, you can't eat just one, or what is it? What is it, Lay's or something?
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, that's not just a logo. That's a goal.
I think my argument then to that is, if you really care enough, and I can stand for this and say I'm in this exact position, like if you really care enough to make changes, you don't have to be addicted to their preconceived mouthfeel and recipes and all that. And you can change your taste buds and what your preferences are in food and still have sweet treats, but the ones that are made healthy. Like something that I'll make that people sometimes are like, really? I'll do like a mashed up avocado with like cacao powder and mix in almond milk and like some stevia or something, and make like a few other things, and make like a chocolate pudding out of it.
Yeah, but the word you're using over and over again is make.
Yeah, I know. It requires...
Yeah.
It's
you and your time, which is valuable, versus not just one, but a series of factories across the United States that is churning this crap out of a back, like out of its anus. Just like, eat this, and it's so cheap. And then when you live in the South, where people are spread out and people don't have shitloads of disposable income, they go to their corner store to grab a snack. Go to Alabama or Mississippi and go into the nearest place that has food, which would be a corner store, and look at the selection. And there isn't one. It's horrible. I don't like Walmart, but I was in Spring City, Tennessee, and I go into this Walmart, and it's just like NASCAR stuff everywhere. You can't believe how much NASCAR is going on in a Walmart in the Deep South. And then. But it turned my opinion around because the Walmart actually had a grocery store in it, and all of a sudden I saw, because in that town before that Walmart was there, there's a Piggly Wiggly, right, which has like no selection whatsoever. Have you ever heard of a Piggly Wiggly?
I can't even believe that it exists.
Yes, the cartoon from like Warner Brothers, Porky Pig is the mascot.
Oh gosh.
And so it's Piggly Wiggly, and the selection in there is just horrendous. And then back then, but this Walmart, the selection of the greens and the veggies and fruits was just out of this world compared to what these people were used to before. And you could just go in there and just see these people from East Tennessee just standing there with their jaw on the ground, like, what is that? You know, they've never seen this kind of stuff before. You know, and Walmart was bringing it to them. You know, so in a way, I was kind of like, you know what, these people needed this Walmart.
Yeah, there's only 2 times I shop at Walmart, and that is when I'm in Kona.
Guns, ammo.
Yeah, usually in Kona, like you need something that can only get at Walmart. And then when we go up to Northern California for my boyfriend's car race in December, like it's in this small little town called Willows where there's really absolutely nothing except a Walmart. So inevitably we need to go on a Walmart run for like dish soap or whatever it may be. But yeah, that's about it. I will not support that company when I have many, many other options available to me. Period.
I shop upscale and shop at Target.
Oh, yeah.
And then get all my credit card information stolen.
See, that's the problem with Target, though, and thankfully I don't live closer to one because it's one of those places where you could go in thinking, okay, all I need is this one thing. Yeah. And then you walk out with 100 things and hundreds of dollars spent. It is a scary, scary place.
Yeah. but I'm not scared in Walmart or in Target like I am at Walmart sometimes.
True.
Like at Walmart, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder. Like, is this safe? Am I safe right now? And especially in the parking lot, I'm like, nah. Okay, so let's see. You had some news stories you sent me about a race that had somebody kind of with cool sunglasses in it. And did you see the finishers podium for the women?
Yeah. What do you mean?
The was it Meredith Kessler that won?
Yeah.
So what's the race? How do you say it?
Mont Tremblant.
Mont Tremblant.
Mont Tremblant.
Tremblant. We're gonna get hate mail.
Sound like South Park.
My name's
Carmen, and I'm training for Mont Tremblant. I want some poutine.
Ski, guys.
Have you ever heard of poutine? I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, and people are probably laughing at me right now, but it's an actual thing. Do you know what it is? Speaking of shitty food,
no.
It is. It's a Canadian / kind of French delicacy that apparently.
Oh, it's already going to be horrible.
It's French fries with gravy and cheese curds on it.
Ooh.
And
There's
that's
no
what
Canada
everyone.
like French Canada.
Yeah, it's kind of like a delicacy. One of my athletes was telling me about it when he did this full Ironman last year. That was the one thing he wanted to indulge on afterward.
I guess they got the Wisconsin curds kind of mixed in there, you know?
Yeah.
With the French culture. French. Here we go. Right, here's our geography lesson for the podcast.
Uh-oh. I'm not good at geography.
The French, settled in Canada, that part of Canada, and Trapper Keeper 5000s. And then also in Louisiana, and they use the Mississippi as a route. And that's why you have French influence down there with the Cajuns down in New Orleans. And then you have the French connection up there in Canada. They're connected by trading up and down the Mississippi River and other such rivers.com.
Yeah.
End of story.
Beautiful.
There you go.
All right. So let me talk a little bit about Meredith Kessler. Like, when does she rest? And she's been working with Matt Dixon, her coach, for a long time now. And I got to get a hold of that new book, The Well-Built Triathlete. Did you see this?
Yeah.
That Matt wrote. And I think Jesse Thomas is actually on the cover. And I think Meredith contributes to the book. But
they're both coached by Matt Dixon.
Yeah. Purple Patch. Good stuff.
What does Purple Patch mean?
I don't know.
Is that an Eeyore thing? Like a crown of thistles on your head because you're bummed out by everything?
I think it's actually like a spot, like it's not like a tangible thing, but it's like a place that you want to achieve. It's like your sweet spot, so to speak.
So it's like a Floyd Landis testosterone patch kind of spot?
I hope not. But no, I think I've heard them a couple times as athletes say things like, we've found our purple patch or whatever. So it's sort of like we found our groove and we got in the zone or, you know.
These people are being coached by Matt Dixon, and Matt Dixon, his claim to fame, what got him into being a coach was he was an endurance athlete. I don't know if he was pro or not,
I think he was for a while.
He got burned out, and
He's out.
as he reached for the last action figure and fought with another dad over Christmas, and was raining blows down upon his head. He thought there has to be a better way.
Are you serious?
Festivus for the rest of us. You remember that Seinfeld episode?
Of course, but is that a true story about Matt Dixon?
No, that's George's dad. So they're like, how did Festivus get started? And he said, well, he was reaching for an action figure when he was Christmas shopping. And then as our rain blows down upon his head, I thought there has to be a better way.
Wait, but no, it was Matt Dixon really like overtrained and just
I think so.
Like,
He was
out?
overtrained,
okay.
And he was like, this sucks. And so then he came up with a better way of training and coaching with more rest. And I wanted to mention that because I think you and I fall in that same camp.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's
right?
amazing. I've been doing this for like a month or so now, if not longer, and I feel freaking fabulous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have yet to go toe the line at a race and see if it comes together in that sense.
Yeah.
But I don't really care because I'm feeling better than I have in a long time right now.
Yeah, okay, so this is what I wanted to mention. I think, because I've been doing triathlon training forever now.
Yeah, me too. I've been
like.
doing it. My first triathlon was on my radar, and in 2006, and I did my first one in 2007. What about you?
2002, maybe?
Okay.
So, and I've been burned out in swimming before, and
I bet.
I've seen other people. I think swimming's probably the worst. And then, and I've seen other people that I've coached get burned out. I've seen me get burned out in triathlon. And so I think there ought to be a better metric. There ought to be a better way. And I think Matt Dixon is really good at this. And because I think in one way, I think when he first started out, he was taking burned out athletes and then turning them around, right? Mm-hmm. And so what if, here's a genius idea.
Okay.
So
many genius ideas come from this.
What if you made sure you felt fantastic most of the time? And then train like that. So
what a novel idea.
So what you would do is every so many days you take a break and recover to the point where you feel fantastic again and then ready to train instead of just digging a bigger and bigger hole. Yeah. And as Sammy would say, Sammy Inkinen, just hoping that with luck, that with taper you might be better at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I completely agree. But then you have a lot of just like traditional programs or what you think in your head you should be capable of doing. And sometimes what you want out of yourself is not what you can get out of yourself. And I think that was a large issue that I was facing. Like I wanted more out of myself than I was able to realistically put forth. And that not only related to training, that had to do with like work life and all that kind of stuff. So it's about finding that good balance. And it's, a tricky equation for everyone.
But then what you do is you take more rest days to let your systems come back, all your hormones and everything come back. But then on the days in between your rest days, when you are training, train harder.
Yeah.
And that makes you stronger, faster, puts on more muscle, burns off more calories, right? And so then you mix in more rest days, a lot more rest days. But then, and that allows you to train harder in between. Mm-hmm. And I had something to say, and now I totally forgot what it was. That was cool.
Going back to Matt Dixon then, and if he does kind of take broken athletes and builds them back up, which I know he's done before, but you take someone then like Meredith Kessler and kind of look at her, and I know there's, some people out there like her who are freaks of nature. Yeah. The way she's able to just race and then a very short off season, relatively speaking. I mean, I just pulled up her schedule, and last year she did Kona to finish her year, of course. Kona, Rev 3, half, and then Ironman Arizona, and then immediately it was back to it this year with Ironman New Zealand, which is the beginning of the year. Yeah. And then from there it's just been something every month, and she just won Mont Tremblant. So obviously, like, she's not like killing herself doing this, but so
the thing you're not thinking about is how many rest days is she taking in between races?
Well, that's
right?
what I want to know. I want to look at some like concrete data with her between her
we're so
Matt.
steeped in this culture of, dude, there was an article when I was looking up the news to talk with you about today. There's an article on Triathlon Magazine's website. How much rest should I take? How many rest days should I take? And they're like, well, if you're kind of a newbie to a sport and you're not that badass, basically, then, like one a week. And I'm sitting, knowing what I know now, I'm like, oh my God, that's how people get wrecked. You're training 6 days in a row, right? Endurance, aerobic, strength, just non-stop, 6 days, and then taking one little day to hoping that your system comes back online.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy. And then they're like, well, actually, if you're pretty good, you maybe take half a day. And on the day that you take off, you still, go work out. And I'm like, okay, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Yeah. Now, I would say to that, I think there are plenty of people who on not every week, but some weeks can handle 6 days of training. But of that, there's at least 2 or 3 days of just extreme recovery. And that's where the problem arises, that people distinguishing recovery versus quality.
Right.
And not only in terms of intensity, but volume.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I've started doing my, polarized training myself, where you go really, really easy or really hard. And how easy to go is unbelievable. If you go hard enough, then you need to go super easy, to recover. And we're talking about, it's literally running as slow as you can, biking as slow as you can, lots of coasting, I call it noodling around, just noodling. Yeah. But that's what it takes, so that a few days later you can do a hard interval workout again and actually get a good workout. If you start mixing in kind of medium hard in there, it wears you out. And so when you try to do a hard workout again, you can't do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat when it comes to the whole training thing. And I know as well as I, like with all your athletes that you coach, that it just gets, every person needs to kind of have their own formula, because I have like a pretty extensive questionnaire that I give out to people before they come on board that sort of like gives me the foundation, like, all right, well, where do I need to put this person, like in terms of what do they need? And sometimes like people just have not been training enough, which is more rare, I would definitely say. Sometimes people think it's just like all this volume and I need to like scale them back. And then all of a sudden they're like, what? What? I can't do all that?
Totally.
So it's definitely...
It's like you can do it, but after a couple of months of doing this, 6 days a week. And that's why, you can do 6 days a week or even 6.5, but as long as you got an end goal in sight, right? This is not perpetual. This is that is peak volume for a big race. It's got to start and it's got to finish, and then you got to go back to living your life. I was just talking with a guy by email, a guy I coach. He wanted to keep doing stuff, and I'm like, I think you need to take some rest days. Like a threshold test just a few days after a race. And I'm like, and worked out, like just the day after the race and the day after that. And he's like, I hurt.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, no. Like, you got to take some time off or else your body can't absorb the work that you did, right? And
totally.
Then, and the way I explained it, I said, people are more on-off than medium all the time, right? That's why we sleep. You're active during the day, but then you sleep, right? And then you go work out, but then you rest. Right? So you got to think in more terms of on-off so that you can absorb actually what's happening instead of just medium like all the time. So, Jesse Thomas won.
He won, and I was so stoked to see him win. And actually, speaking to kind of what we're talking about right now, I have like in my mind, I was sort of thinking about this one, and because he did Eagle Man, which was June 8th, and if anyone didn't hear, he apparently accidentally rode off course, which ended up lasting for a, obviously significant amount of time. It was like 10 miles altogether, which I didn't actually end up doing the race. So I don't know how easy or hard it is to go off course, but reading his blog, it made sense how he made the mistake, and he actually posted his Garmin file, so you can see the little it's
jog.
This loop, and so you see like this little out and back, like, wait a minute, that shouldn't be there. But But anyway, so he ended up just kind of like cruising through the run and all that, kind of just knowing that it wasn't going to be his day, which cruising, I say, relatively speaking, to a pro's running style.
Elite running,
But I bet you anything, not having pushed himself to death in that race and then kind of still probably taking some recovery after that led to a phenomenal performance here at Mont Tremblant because – I'm sure he was recovered on one end physiologically and mentally just wanting to like make a good little comeback after like making a mistake, like going off course.
Yeah. It's so when you I bet you Matt Dixon has these guys because this is what I would do if my coaching was, famous for helping people that have been burned out or preventing burnout. It's like the thing to look for is, do I feel awesome yet? Like for recovery. Mm-hmm. And so, do Eagle Man, right? And then do nothing for a while. And until you feel like you can barely stand it anymore. Now go out and train really freaking hard. and until you're like, man, I'm done, right?
Yeah.
Like I can't absorb anymore. you're talking like 2-3 days of some pretty at elite level, right?
Right.
Of some pretty badass shit. And just be like, man, now take a break for a little bit, let it all soak in, and then and that's instead of just like constant volume, it's more like of an up down, like a on off, like that. Mm-hmm. And then like go into Mont Tremblant. Make sure that you feel freaking awesome. You're used to searching for that feeling of awesome, and then going into it that you're really recovered and you're ready to kick some ass.
Yeah. I agree for sure. I kind of posted a little bit about this on my CoachTawny.com website, and I just posted the blog yesterday. But I was listening to this podcast. Do you ever listen to The Fat Burning Man with Abel James?
No, I haven't.
I'm trying to like broaden my podcast listening and just kind of get a take. And he's one of the top ones in the health and fitness category. Good guy. I think he's only a year or two older than I am. And he had on Dr. Jeff Spencer, who's just, kind of been around. He even worked with Lance at one point. But great show on like insight on like recovery and overtraining and why we all kind of fall victim to this at some point or another in our athletic careers, whether we're an amateur or pro.
We fall victim to overtraining? Is that
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
A lot. He was talking about like the fear end of it and why like we are more of like fear based by nature due to kind of like flight or fight stuff. And we let our fears kind of spiral us into thinking like I need to do more because so and so's doing more and I got to do what they're doing or
But the
whatever
thing is, it's like posting on Facebook, right? All you ever see is somebody's great stuff, so you think that their life is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And you're not seeing all the crap that they have to deal with on a regular basis, right? So you show up at training, everybody's acting like, because they're worried, they're afraid of not looking awesome, and they're putting on their best performance. So everybody starts overdoing it because everybody's. It's that whole thing where at Kona, right, or at an Ironman, people show up a few days beforehand or a week beforehand, and they start seeing how fit everybody is. So everybody starts training, because they're worried.
Yep.
But and these are the best athletes in the world. They know better too, They know not to do anything. But they can't take it. Yeah.
It's crazy stuff, but again, I think, the other thing that was cool on this podcast that I really was like, oh yeah, that makes sense for me right now because as I've sort of like made like a different approach to my own training, one of the things that I'm doing more of are things outside of just traditional swim, bike, run, like surfing and stand-up paddleboarding and any other like extracurricular activity, like whatever it may not even be
finger painting.
Yeah, exactly.
Pottery.
But you know what I mean? Like allowing yourself to do that. And Jeff Spencer on this podcast made a good argument for that, like looking to like Michael Jordan, for example, on his love for playing golf and how that actually was good for him versus had he spent more time on the basketball court training for that. Right.
And that kind of goes back to, okay, so what I'm doing lately is, because I was getting a little bit burned out, but in a really weird way, just kind of like no matter what I was doing, it just didn't seem to be making me any better, and I was just like, well, so I thought I'd give the polarized thing a try and taking a break, and then it was really bizarre getting into it because you feel a whole lot of anxiety, Like, I'm getting slower, and then waiting a few days, and then going out and having a really great workout, and then going, wow, that was a great workout. I haven't had a workout like that in years. Why? Right? Well, it's because you never gave yourself a freaking break. You know?
Yep. I'm going to have to, you sent me an email on that, huh? That was when I was still on the East Coast. I got to check that out. Polarized training.
The whole polarized training method. It's a seminar on it that a guy gave. And about how much to train hard. And then Europeans, Northern Europeans, Norwegians, for example, have been using polarized forever. And because they've been doing aerobic sports forever, because they used to get around everywhere on skis. That was a method of transportation, was cross-country skiing. You know, you can find old artwork, you know, of people doing that 1,000 years ago or something. And so being a good cross-country skier, you know, was vital to survival in Northern Europe. So they figured out long ago how to become a really good aerobic endurance athlete, long time ago. So you go really hard every like 3 days, and then and you don't even go as hard as you think you need to, and then everything else in between is just noodling around, just kind of playing around, and then that allows you to absorb the hard work. And the hardest part isn't the intervals; it's the not doing medium all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But then when you start putting the big picture together, you're like, oh, yeah, that's what you notice about the elites, right? And they're always talking about that, about taking your easy days even easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be. It's got to be, man. All right. I have to get going pretty soon, though.
Me too.
So is there anything else? Yeah. I know you're on your lunch break right now.
I'm totally busy, too, okay? It's cool.
And
Yeah, that's right. I gotta go somewhere. What? Yeah, I'll be right there.
You know what? Okay, so I have another call right after this, and it's funny because I'm like on the verge of getting a treadmill for like not for exercise or anything, but just so I'm not sitting on my butt on phone calls all day long because I'm on the phone a lot, and I'm not looking like I don't necessarily want it for a means of exercise, but movement. Like when we were on the East Coast and in DC, especially, we were walking around so much every day, and I started to feel phenomenal from it. Just like refreshed, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's so low intensity.
Like I'm not sure if DC's like that, but I know, you know, like Chicago and San Francisco and New York, they're walking cities. Yeah, I'm not sure how much DC's like that.
It is because, I've been to San Fran and Chicago as well. But what's cool about DC is that if you're going like tour style, everything is pretty much within walking distance. Whereas like in San Francisco, you're going to at least have to take some sort of transportation from like the far ends of town to get to see certain things.
Right.
But like if you're trying to hit up just like the basics in DC, like in where the capital is and everything, it's all within a 5 mile or so radius, if not even tighter than that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh, cool! On your walk, you can just go rent a Segway scooter and get some Hostess cakes or what is it? Little Debbie's? Not Hostess. Little Debbie's, and just drive that Segway scooter with one hand and munch on a Little Debbie.
Nom it.
Yeah. Treadmill. I've done business calls on a treadmill before.
Yeah.
It's
what speed?
Person goes, "What the hell are you doing?"
You have to do it at like 3.0 speed or slower.
Yeah, but at least you're walking. Sorry. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rather than being in a seated position, which is seriously the worst position for us to be in.
Yeah. Look at us athletes talking about this.
I know.
Seated. Sat.
Ugh, sat. Anyways.
Thanks,
right. Man.
I will be in touch.
Real.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, Tawnee. Kick ass. I also want to mention a sponsor about Hornet Juice, man. Holy crap. I'm getting a lot of Hornet Juice orders coming in. You go on the right side of the page. Let me go. ZenTriathlon.com. I'm going to go there myself. I've got some kind of ad up or some kind of website up on my computer right now for Endurance House. I was trying to figure out what in the heck that even is. Okay, so if you scroll down on the right side of ZenTriathlon.com, you come to these purple and blue packets called Hornet Juice, and you order them, and they are, this is crazy, but they are made in it's an amino acid, which is protein powder with carbs, but simulates the saliva. I swear this is true. It is the same profile as the saliva of the Japanese killer hornet, and because what they found is this amino acid mix stimulates fat burning like crazy. So it helps you. You take it a little bit before your workout, your longer workouts, and then a little bit during, and you get just a ton more energy because your body's metabolizing a lot more body fat. The amino acids burning in your stomach stimulate this, and Japanese hornets have the highest power to weight ratio of any creature alive, and they can fly for like 100 miles or something like that. But they weigh a lot; they're kind of big. So in the lab, they were trying to figure out how they do this because it doesn't seem to make sense. But in the saliva of the hornet, I swear this is true. You got to go check it out. And the saliva of the hornet is the key to the fuel that they use to metabolize their reserves, and they can just fly and fly and fly. So they decided to start making a lab test on athletes. It works. It's freaking crazy. It's really cool. And I've been using it for years. I used it yesterday, by the way. And you order it through ZenTri, and you get it at you get to help support the show because the money, the little bit of markup that I add to it goes right into supporting bandwidth, and it's a cool way to help the show by helping yourself. Right? You can get Hornet Juice somewhere else, fine. You get it through here, it helps pay for the podcast, and I roll over a lot of that money. We've got a college fund going for Kai, my 9-year-old, and just lots of cool ways to turn this little supporting part of ZenTri around for you guys. So anyways, go check it out anyway. I mean, you don't have to get it through here. Just go check it out. It's crazy, like the stories about it, like how it really works. And it does work. I use it all the time. And let's hop on over to our interview with Compete Hub. This is Mike Bestvina, and we recorded this a while ago, a couple weeks ago at least, and I've been trying to find the right place to put it in a show because we had that interview with Brandon Marsh, who won the Ironman swim, and that was kind of timely, so I wanted to throw that in there in the last episode. So this one, we've got Compete Hub, and next episode we have an interview with the visually impaired, I struggle with the right term to call it, athlete who won a spot to Kona, and she and her teammate that are going to ride. That's going to be cool. I've already recorded that. That's an awesome interview, so that's in the next podcast. But let's go ahead and talk to Mike Bestvina from San Francisco, from Silicon Valley, and all about how they got started with Compete Hub and how it works and tooling around on the website. It's a pretty cool conversation. I'm really excited to bring it to you. So let's check it out. Here we go. All right, I'm here with Mike Bestvina, the CEO of Compete Hub. How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Just did a little open water swim with my son, and we're just relaxing and chilling out, and thought I'd hit you up on Skype, see what's up. Are you up in Silicon Valley?
That's right, yeah. And I just got back from a nice about 15-mile run, so
oh, cool.
Trying to keep the training going here on a nice sunny weekend.
Awesome, man. So what we're going to talk about today is CompeteHub.com, and it's really interesting. I've been talking about it on a couple of shows, and I thought I'd get Mike on here to talk about what it actually is, because even though I've used it, I'm probably missing a few parts of it. Of all the things that it is and that you want it to be and that people should know about. And
totally.
Yeah, and I mean, just right off from the beginning, I really liked it because it helped me find a race that I might end up doing, and
sure.
That I would never have noticed. So,
yep.
And why don't you tell us a little bit of the story about how it got started and how it works and what your plans are?
Yeah, Totally. Yeah, I appreciate that. We're glad to hear from people like you, even, as users. When we actually launched about 2 weeks ago, and the feedback has been quite positive in terms of people look at the site right away and they say, "Oh, this is pretty cool," and this doesn't exist is usually the feedback we've gotten. So, yeah, it's interesting. It all kind of came about 2 or 3 years ago. I did one of my I think my second or third half Ironman. I was living over in Europe for a while, and I started realizing that especially as beginners in the sport, you can't really find very good information about the races. Just finding out which race to do becomes this sort of like task overload, and you talk to your friends. You don't know who's doing triathlons of your friends, and all it becomes this kind of convoluted sort of type of thing. So that was how it all kind of got put together. And the biggest story around that was a couple of friends of mine had done the half Ironman in Mallorca, which at the time had about 1,000 people, and today now they have about 3,000 people going to that race. It's pretty big now. And they invited myself, and they said, "You got to do this race also." So word of mouth, best way to get people to buy things and do things. And
right.
So after that, I said, "Okay, cool." Brought a friend of mine along, and a year later, we turned that into 15 people for my club. And that was all because I had said, "Hey, you got to check this race out." 4 of my friends had now done it, and everybody kind of tagged along. And then I built all this logistics, and you should have seen the spreadsheet I put together on here's what the race map looks like. Here's what the temperature is going to be. Hotels and all that stuff. So I think I could sort of build a platform to go and make this easier for people. And actually, there's a lot of value that can be added there. So that's sort of how we got born. And the easiest way that we describe the site to people is sort of a Yelp for competitive events. And
okay. Yeah.
And what that means really is it's the discovery side of it. So the way people use Yelp today is you're sitting there and you say, "Oh, I want to go have Chinese tonight." So you open up the app and you type in Chinese, and there's a Chinese place around the corner.
Right.
But the beauty of something like that is the fact that there's no duplicate. You get definitive information. Now today on Yelp, you get the menus. You get to see if there's deals and all that type of stuff. So what we're trying to do is do the exact same thing, but in the endurance space. We're starting off with triathlons, and we're moving into everything else that sort of endurance junkies like to do. So running races, trail runs. We've now we're going to be working on adventure racing, which is kind of the hot up-and-coming thing, swimming, cycling events, and also we're looking at CrossFit as well.
Oh, you might break into the CrossFit market?
We're looking at it because the whole theory is that, a lot of people, especially like our sort of view on this is that when people get outside of college, it's sort of that barrier of when people start to put a little weight on and they start thinking about their fitness, they start thinking about their health, everything starts to slow down a little bit.
Right.
And what we found is, especially in triathlon specifically, is people go and do these events because, that's their biggest thing is they want to get fit. They want to get challenged, throughout their whole life growing up, they're doing sports or whatever, and they want that next challenge. And which is why we call it Compete Hub. I mean, it's a hub to go and compete. And whether that's you're the gym rat that wants to go and do CrossFit as sort of your thing, or do a Tough Mudder, we want to be the place to go and find that for you to go and compete as an individual, compete with your friends, and go and find the races and competitions that your friends are doing. Now that's a little bit away from us right now, but running races are coming soon. We've got a big database of triathlons. We've got most of them in the U.S. and the U.K. right now. And so that's sort of next trend that, I think it's about 38% of triathletes also do running races. That's sort of the next step for us.
So, and yeah, like you were saying with Yelp is actually a really good model to try to I don't know, like emulate, is because like you were saying, they have menus, right? And
yep.
With Compete Hub, you have you have race maps and course maps and stuff like that. It actually works out very, very similarly. And it's kind of like a race as a restaurant, isn't it? In a way.
Yeah. Well, and there's the next sort of progression in terms of that is we're coming out with a mobile app that allows you to go in, see all the information, and get all that stuff on your phone. So, like, one of the use cases that we've seen already with the mobile app, because we've been testing it with some beta users, is literally they'll get the email from the event organizer, 3 or 4 days before the event. It'll have this PDF download that's, like 20 megabytes, and they're trying to download it on their phone and Pinch and Zoom and all this stuff on a PDF, and nobody can even find out, where do I put the GPS in my phone to go and drive to the race? So one of the most easiest things, and it's very simple in the sense that Yelp does that really well, where you just it tells you exactly where it is. Even if it's around the corner, you just pop it in your GPS in your phone, and walk around and find the place. We want to do the same thing, and that becomes just that little feature becomes massively valuable to the end user. That's a bit where we see the vision as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like the active.com model, now that I think about it, compared to Compete Hub, seems very dated.
Yeah.
And it seems
and
their model seems so sloppy with the constant just hammering you to sign up for more and more stuff with ads. Like, how about this? How about this? How about this magazine? And like just hammering you. And it's like, why am I on this page again? How fast can I get out of here? It feels like a minefield that you're trying to get out of, instead of something pleasurable to use.
Exactly, and without saying anything about active, the way we look at it is we want to position races and things that we know that you're going to like.
Yeah.
The reason people go to Amazon.com, even though they get the same experience, you're bombarded with all this, somebody bought this but also bought this, is because people are kind of like, oh crap, actually, I do want that.
Right. Yeah.
I think what hasn't been served in this market yet is building some intelligence around that. And so we kind of are self-dubbed data junkies. So we're all about data, and our idea is to go and get more information about data, about what people are doing in terms of races. So, as you said, we've got course maps on there. So,
right.
And that's all in the digital format. It's not in a PDF that you have to download or whatever. It's literally in a Google Maps. So, we are looking at that from a data perspective to go and then position things that you might want to do. I'm sure you might have had this experience before, but you schedule out your race calendar for the year, and you say, okay, I got an Ironman in 16 weeks. Ooh, I want to throw an Olympic in there in week 8. But is there an Olympic that I can go and do in week 8? Well, actually, that's really easy to do on our site. In fact, we actually put on some of the race listings, we literally just say how many weeks away is it, so you can get that kind of scope of, okay, yeah, I could do that. Like, I'm pretty good in good shape to go and do that race.
Right.
So we're, some of those little subtleties are we found have been quite important to our users.
So, let's go to CompeteHub.com right now. And let's see if there's a way to use it that maybe I don't know of yet.
Okay.
So I'm there. Are you in a place where you can get to it? Your baby?
I could. Yeah,
or you don't even need to. You can just tell me because you.
I can probably just tell you. Yeah,
you can
exactly.
Just imagine it in your mind because you've been there.
Exactly.
You're like, yeah, I know what that looks like. Okay.
Do you want me to give you a hint on a cool something that's sort of buried that we've got in there?
Let me get back. I want to make sure we were recording. Oh, podcasting, the joys.
Yeah.
So let's see. Where'd it go? I had it up. And I somehow minimized it. Okay. So it's cool right off the bat is it's like super clean, right?
Yep.
And not a whole bunch of, for lack of a better word, crap everywhere. So it's just super simple. What did you design this in?
In terms of what?
Is it just
like
CSS?
Technology?
Yeah.
I mean, everything's HTML, CSS. So the back end for any techies out there that are listening, we use a stack called Ruby on Rails.
Oh, yeah.
Our search is all what's called Elasticsearch, which is what makes it really easy for us to sort of break down facets of search, which If you go on the search, for example, you can actually, it's pretty cool, like you can go and pick out your sort of perfect parameters of, okay, I want to go and find just a race in Texas that's an Olympic within 25 miles of where I live. And you can actually do that pretty quickly, and the search is super snappy. So,
see, Texas Olympic.
Yeah.
And
hopefully, cross my fingers, it works now. Okay.
And it says, yeah, there's Bernie, which is just west of Austin. So if I type, tell me about this elastic search. How does that work? So I type in Texas space Olympic. What does that kind of do?
So that should pull in. What it'll do is it'll analyze those words and try to figure out facets from it. And what a facet is sort of like an attribute of what you're looking for in terms of your search term. So very much like Google in the sense that we try to keep things as free-flowing as possible. Mm-hmm. So if you know the name of the race, you can type the name of the race and it's going to show up as a result. If you have a certain parameter that you want, so for example, Olympic, mm-hmm. It'll say, oh, shoot, like Olympic is an interesting term. And we can go and identify that, and you can actually then filter on the word Olympic if it's a classification of the race. So now we're tuning it, and the nice thing with it is that you can tune it over time to make it more adaptive to the way people sort of naturally search.
Yeah. Wow, there's more. I have to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Wow. I should have typed this in right from the beginning. There's a triathlon. This is why I like Compete Hub. There's a triathlon in Bastrop State Park, which is this beautiful park.
Okay.
And you know what's super cool? I didn't notice this before. On your search results, you have how long away the race is. 10 weeks away.
Yeah.
So 10 weeks away, you have they have a triathlon / short duathlon, a sprint distance in Bastrop. Wow. That's pretty cool. And then the result will show you how many people that are on Compete Hub that are going to do it.
Yep.
And you can wish list it.
Yes, the whole idea is
you guys are killing this, man. This is so cool.
Yeah, so if you're like, oh shoot, I want to save this for later, I'll throw on a wish list. Yeah. Funny enough, we've actually got a decent amount of users who are just people spectating the events, and they've ended up using that wish list feature to say, oh, okay, well, my brother or my dad or whatever, my son is doing a race.
You guys should add a wish list or a spectating option.
We are. I think we've gotten that feedback already to go and to add that. So we're
going to
be adding that
to be able to change the product.
And honestly, it would be, one of the things, one of my selling points, the only thing I will sell is the fact that, our team is, we can develop and make things happen very quickly. So if we get a big demand for a sort of feature, we're pushing stuff into our live environment almost daily. So you'll see subtle things will probably change every once in a while. This is very much the kind of Silicon Valley culture, which I'm sure people have heard from the Facebook and Twitter of the world is, move fast and break things type of thing. So we want to just try to deliver as much value as quickly as possible to our end users, and that's something that we've gotten a lot of good reception about. As people say, "Oh, I want to see this," and then 3 days later it's on the site, and I'm like, "Oh, wow, that's awesome." So
yeah, wow, you have a I just found the next Xterra race. And Waco's got a killer park where they throw just great races. Yeah, that's it's in the Brazos River before the Brazos River turns into just a mud pit down where I live. Up there, it's a little bit nicer. Cool, man.
And it's interesting. Like, so all the stuff you're talking about right now, like, oh, this place is cool. It has this scenic and all that. Yeah. This is going to be sort of the next steps that we move into. Yeah. Starting to get some of like the reviews, and we want to get reviews right. We've seen a lot of other sites that do reviews, even just reviews in general across the web are sort of not done correctly.
Yeah. So how do you do them right?
Get it done. Well, so one of the things that we're toying with right now, we're kind of building our labs is one thing actually that Foursquare does really well is they call them tips. So they just call them, like, people just write one-liners and then they put a picture in there. Mm-hmm. And what we're thinking about doing is adding a section that's just called tips. And then I have another part that's like the full race report that people like to, do the whole blog post on their experience.
That's a lot in the constructive language, isn't it? Tips.
Yeah.
Because that keeps it to tips instead of negative comments.
So, what the cool thing there is that what we want to be able to do is in the tips section, is because we've gotten a lot of demand for like, oh, what's the wind like? Should I bring a disc? Should I have an arrow helmet? And so everybody loves to talk about that stuff. And we want to capture that, but we don't want it to get lost. And that's the problem, is that if you look at the other reviews, you just get this whole page of like, even if they've got 100 reviews on a race, some of that information is lost because nobody's going to read through all that stuff. People might read through one race report and read through it and be like, oh, that's interesting. But sometimes the information is lost. And what we want to do is once you get all these short little tips, and maybe it's, oh, yeah, I used the disc wheel and it was great, one-liner. Mm-hmm. If 5 people say that out of 100 tips, and that's the most prominent thing, then we go and we summarize that and we say, this is a great disc wheel race.
Right.
And that all of a sudden becomes really interesting, especially for the junkies like you and I. We want to know everything about every turn and every piece of my equipment's got to, be right for the race. So,
you could come up with like 10 little logos, like little images. I'm talking like tiny, that symbolize something like disc wheel, tri-bike, versus like road bike, family fun versus whatever, and you could have them under the bigger image of the race. And then if you drift your mouse over it, it says what it is, like trails, or I don't know, whatever. Yeah, like whatever people are kind of like, whatever, and it starts collecting these logos under it. So it's kind of like people get an idea just without even having to read anything. They can just see the little symbols.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And that's the goal of our site. Is one is to discover the races. 2 is get the right information about the individual race that you're doing. Mm-hmm. We see those two problems aren't being solved correctly or just not being solved at all. And so we see those as being the 2 kind of cornerstones of what we're doing.
So let's say I'm on Compete Hub, right? Mm-hmm. What's gonna pull me in every day? Am I gonna get some kind of like a summary of my friends in Compete Hub that have checked these things out or something like that? Or what gets me back to the page every day, besides just looking for a race once a month or something, once every few months?
Yeah, a couple things. Actually, since I think I've last talked to you, we just pushed out a new feature that every Sunday you'll get a list of anywhere between 5 and 15 race events that we have sort of categorically identified based on races you've done before, what your friends are doing, what your preferences are. We built this algorithm that goes and says, here's a list of recommended races that you might want to do. Mm-hmm. Not dissimilar to the sort of dashboard that you get there when you log in, but it kind of gives you more push on that. And so if you're not on the site every day and you're not looking, oh, what are my friends doing, who's been added, all that stuff, you're going to get that email. All of a sudden you'll see, oh, shoot, I got 6 friends doing that race in 10 weeks. Okay, right. Maybe I might want to do that.
That sounds like fun now. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then also we've also got another thing. Double check if we've put it into production yet, but we've already tested it. Is if a friend has signed up for something, you can get an email alert. You can turn those on and off, so that people find them annoying. But you can turn them. You'll get an email that says, "Hey, so and so, your friend has just signed up for this event. Go check it out."
Right.
And that's the whole thing. We want to, I hate to use the word social, but we are capturing that social experience because we realize that this market is, and this community is all based on, people. You're racing by yourself, mm-hmm. but the reason people keep coming back to race isn't just for yourself. It's because there's other people there cheering you on. There's people you get to compete against, and that's what that's why people come back and do it every year and every week and every month.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you are working with the little symbols a little bit. You get the swim, bike, run.
Yep.
On what it is, and then let's see. Oh, you got it broken up by brands too, right? So you can do
that was the thing I was going to see if you could dig in there because that's a little bit hidden. So if you actually go on to one of them, you'll see they've got the brand logo, and you can click on that, and then it gives you a full list of all.
Let me see something interesting. Rev 3. Okay, Rev 3. Oh, and you can sort it by date or by the race name, I guess. And then or by just date or race. Okay, so then Rev 3 Wisconsin is 2 weeks away. Rev 3 Maine 11 weeks away. Rev 3 Florida 22 weeks away. Wait, are you saying that I can, because I do news on the podcast, I could actually just go here and click on Ironman, for example.
Yep.
And
so I'll give you a little hint.
Yeah.
Going into every weekend, every Thursday and Friday, I come in there and I go on Ironman, I go on Rev 3, I go on HITS, and I look at what races are coming up that weekend. And then, we do a little tweet, a couple tweets and Facebook kind of posts on what races are coming up for that weekend. So if people know people are doing that race and give a little flavor of what's going on. But, that's exactly what I do. So I get a little bit of a pulse on what races are coming up on the weekend.
Okay. So how do I, wait, I think I've got Ironman and Texas logged in my search at the same time. Let's see. I want to get out of that.
So if you put in Ironman Texas, because what we do is we actually filter out past events, because we're usually looking at forward-looking events. So there's a filter on there that say take off past events. So if you're looking for Ironman Texas, it won't show up unless you do that. Let's
see. Okay, Ironman. Okay, so here's what everybody needs to know. June 15th, Boulder. Ironman 70.3 Boulder. 70.3 Victoria. 70.3 Aarhus. Oh, Denmark. So I can say I want to do an Ironman brand race, or these are the races that are coming up. I can just come here and look and see.
Absolutely, yeah.
Chattanooga's 60 minutes away.
Interestingly, we also have we actually have in our database all of the number of slots for Kona and for the 70.3 championship. So we're actually coming out with soon. In that same view, you'll be able to see how many slots. So for the Uber junkies who are looking to score their spot for Kona, they can just literally see it almost like, it looks like an Excel almost, you get kind of that spreadsheet look and you can just see, okay, cool, this one's got 30 slots, cool, I want that, that one looks like one, cool, wish list it.
You want me to tell you something that everybody wants to know that nobody's doing?
I would love for you to tell me that.
So check this out. I'm not quite fast enough to qualify for Kona yet. Yep. But and I think there's a lot of people that fall in this category. I'm in that category too. How fast was the slowest person to qualify in Kona in that race, last year or whatever, recently. Yep. And it is impossible for people to figure out. It's like people have to go and do all this detective work. I don't know if there's an easy way to do it. I don't know if Ironman doesn't want people to know, I guess. Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out, what do I need to do to qualify for Kona at that race? Do I need to do a 10-hour? Do I need to do a 9.5? Do I need to do a 10.5? What is it?
Right.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. So I had the same discussion with one of our sort of, I call him one of our key users because the guy just loves the site. And he's a very good, he does like a 4:30 half Ironman. Wow, very, top tier, top 10% type guy. Yeah. And he said the same thing. And he actually, funny enough, a year ago, he's an IT consultant. He works in sort of business intelligence stuff. And a year ago, him and a colleague of his, they took all the data and they chucked it in I don't know if you're familiar with Tableau, but it's an analytics platform. They just chucked the data in there and they plotted out like the bike, qualifications and all that stuff. And he actually walked me through. He goes, here's my spreadsheet for, here's the fastest time. This is the time I need to go in order to qualify and all that stuff. And, so there's definitely demand for that. And it's something that we definitely want to do. But that's going to be a little bit of baby steps because the data is all over the place.
There seems to be no way. It would be really easy for Ironman to publish it, so I don't know why they don't, because they're there. They could just write it down from the race that day and say, or what is it, the Kona roll down, the next day, and go, okay, these are our spots. This is, totally for somebody to announce, to write it down, but they don't. And I don't know why. Yeah, and then that's so valuable to know. Like, how fast do you need to go?
Yep, it's amazing. Just in general, I mean, it's taken us a while just to even just get the data correct for the races. I mean, and quite frankly,
true.
We don't have it. It's not perfect. I mean, our site's not perfect, but we're getting there. And actually, we're going to be relying more and more on the community to help us out because, you know, people love the site and they're getting really engaged about it. And we're going to be rolling out a couple of new features. Well, we have features that are already exist on the site, but we're going to be rolling them out so that people can start using them.
Mm-hmm.
But for people to actually add the course maps for us, because there's all this data out there. So there's all this data around, I've done the race, I have the GPS for it. I mean, we can literally take that data and we can add the course maps really easy. I just got an email from the user yesterday. She said, "Oh, I have all the course maps for you here. I've got them on Garmin." And I go, "Cool, we can take those and we can put them on our site right away." So
yeah,
we're going to be rolling out that stuff. And that's what we want to do is once people start seeing, okay, this is pretty cool, what happens when we actually put this data in a platform that can take it and bring information out of it, we then that becomes really interesting, and then people are more incentivized to give us that information and do it for us, really, quite frankly.
Yeah.
And so, you know, all the stuff that you just mentioned, like, you know, we're going to get there at some point, and we're going to rely on this community to do that. And we're just going to have the tools that make it easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it. One thing, I mean, there's so much you can do that one of the things of engineering this stuff is you have to decide to leave things out. You have to edit it out. You have no idea how much we spend probably more time deciding what not to put in than exactly. Yeah, because then people can't use the site. Then it becomes a website that's so full of clutter you can't find anything. You know
exactly.
And it's harder to make software that is simple so that people can actually find their way through it. And you have to at some point you have to say, you know, we're gonna have to let somebody else invent that site because that does this one specific thing. You know. Which is a great point. I mean, one of the things that we are staying away from initially is the training piece. We've gotten a lot of demand for it. Yeah.
But we said, you know what? We don't do that well. That's not what our purpose is. You want to find information about the race and you want to decide what races you're doing. We're going to do that well.
Yeah.
And so your point about sort of the people want to see how fast people are doing the race and stuff is well noted, because that is part of the experience of this is the race I want to do. But again, you're absolutely right. We just want to do that really well, but the other stuff we let somebody else do that.
Yeah, the how fast you need to go to qualify for Kona fits under your umbrella because that tells you about that. It tells you about whether or not you want to sign up for that race, and that's different.
Exactly.
That's a totally different beast than are you fit enough or get fit enough to do a race, which is training. That's more like finding a coach. You know, that would be a coach or training. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really excited. You know, to
I'm excited that you're excited. That's awesome.
To be helping out and help promote it, because I think it, like in an email I wrote you, I said, this thing has legs. This is cool. Yeah. It looks really well done. Yeah.
Well, hopefully it's got enough legs to get us through an Ironman. So.
Through the long haul.
Yeah, cool. Exactly. No, we're excited about it. I think the opportunity is great. It's something that, you know, one of the other big reactions we've gotten is, so we doing this. You know, but I've been people say, oh, I'm wanting to see this. And so, you know, we're like, okay, well, we're going to go and make it happen. So, you know, and I think there's so many ways that we can help athletes, you know, find the races and find the information about that, and then helping them get to the race. Our ultimate goal is setting the expectations about what's going to happen at a race, whether you're the first timer or you're a 10th timer. You know, there is always that component of, I've got this race coming up. What are all the things I need to do to get there? What should I be doing another race beforehand? Once I'm done with my next race, you know, all that type of stuff. And, you know, we want to become that de facto place to go and do that.
Yeah, that's true. So, how about you wrap it up with us, with you telling us some Silicon Valley stories? A good one.
Ooh.
Like,
do you ever?
I don't know. Like, did you ever ever see Steve Jobs driving around, or did you ever worry that are you looking for a phone prototype or something like that at a bar that somebody might have dropped, or like, you know, living way down here in Texas, it's kind of like Silicon Valley. If you're into tech, is kind of like our Hollywood, So you
right.
imagine that it's like even way cooler than it is, So I've been there though, and I've driven around, and I got, oh yeah, it's just it's just a place, but it's but it's a place where Yahoo is headquartered over there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty freaking cool.
It's so I don't have any juicy stories. I've got some information, but stuff that I probably can't share.
Yeah.
No, it's interesting. It's a really cool place. I think the real interesting thing is that in fact, there's a TV show now on HBO called Silicon Valley. They kind of mock all the sayings and everything, and a lot of the stuff in actually that show is not untrue in the sense that this is how people talk here. The cool thing is, and in fact, the place that we're staying at, there's a lot of people just going out and just building software and trying to do some really cool things. And there's a lot of people doing that, and I think it's really exciting just to be in that environment.
Yeah.
Because you've got a lot of people who think big. It's the sky is the limit, and like for stuff like that we're doing in terms of the stuff that we're doing in terms of trying to get all this data and catalog and organizing it's not easy. And what's cool about being in this area of the country and the world is that everybody here thinks we can do it, and no matter how long it can take us or whatever. And I think that's kind of the cool thing that resonates really well here. And actually, I've only been here for about a half a year. I was actually in London. I was living in Europe, working for a consulting company out there. So, but I'd always kind of had a view on what was going on here. And since I moved here, it's been amazing. And the advantages you get here in terms of advice and investment and all that stuff are unparalleled. So, we're excited about that. We see it as a huge advantage for us to get to market faster and also the triathlon scene is awesome. You got some serious people out here. Actually, you just did Texas a couple weeks ago, right?
Uh-huh.
I think the guy, so there's a club out here called Everyman Jack, that the guy who won the amateur level, first place overall in amateur, a guy named Kim, I forget his last name now, can't remember it. But they're all based, Everyman Jack is based out here in San Francisco. So you got some serious triathletes out here. I mean, we've got big mountains everywhere. You can walk out the door and it's sunny every day of the year. So
yeah.
Yeah,
Silicon Valley is different. It's different
Yeah.
than when people think of San Francisco, because you guys are inland a little bit more in the valley, literally. That makes the bay eventually. And then and so when I was there a couple times, the sun heats up the valley, and then by the afternoon you get a strong breeze working against you out there. And then it was really sunny. And there's mountains all around, so anytime you want to do some hill work, you got it.
Oh.
And I did the Morgan Valley Triathlon, which went Morgan Hill, which went way up into
Morgan
the
Hill,
valley until it pretty much, it was like Texas up in there. It was like West Texas.
Yeah.
Like everywhere I go, it's like freaking Texas. And then, let's see, I've been up, when I did Alcatraz, I stayed inland. If you go across...
Alcatraz was just today, actually. Yeah.
Oh, it was, yeah. And if you go... what's the name of that town? Let me look it up. It was so beautiful. Well,
are you talking about just over the bridge, so like Sausalito or like Tiburon?
No, like up... hold on, let me pull it up. And
that area is gorgeous. So I bounce between the whole Palo Alto, Silicon Valley area and San Francisco, and so I've been doing some training up there. And you go over the Golden Gate Bridge, and you're in Sausalito, and there's Mount Tam and Mill Valley and all that area, and that is just, I mean, you're talking about picturesque like cycling. I mean, it is unbelievable over there. Well, and then you start going a little bit north of that, and you've got Napa Valley, and that actually has awesome cycling. You get these nice rolling big hills, and I mean, just gorgeous landscape, and the weather is just unbeatable. So
yeah, I think my computer's decided that because we don't have Google Fiber here, it's just gonna take forever to get us there. Okay, here we go.
Did Compete Hub crash it for you?
No, I doubt it. Maybe it's mining my computer for data about me. Yeah,
exactly.
It is working pretty hard. It's chugging away. I can hear the fan, and you don't hear that on a Mac very often. Like it's going.
Yeah.
No, I think it had
cool
imagery on it. But let's see. Oh yeah, so Alcatraz was today. Did you follow it at all? Or?
Yeah, a little bit. I had to get a run in today, so I wasn't able to check it out. I actually went cycling with a couple of the Everyman Jack guys yesterday. And got some training, and I actually was up in Sausalito and did that whole kind of thing up there where there's just a ton of cyclists up there. So, and I actually swam on Friday with a couple of guys that are doing the race. So I wasn't able to pop over there. But I've been sort of in and out of that area all day, and it's a cool event. You know what? I think it's way too expensive. I would never. I'm not a guy that would go and do it. It's a weird race. In fact, I remember we were putting the data in for the race, and I started thinking to myself, why does anybody want to do this race? It's 2 kilometers swimming in cold water in the bay, and it's got a massive current. If you don't hit it right, you can get stuck. And then the run is 12K, and then the bike is I gotta remember, I don't have it up in front of me, but it's an oblong one. It's not like a normal distance.
Yeah.
They get all these pros that come out. You have to be at the lottery system to get a ticket.
Yeah. It
costs $400 and something odd, and listen, I'm not trashed in the race, but it's just not the right race for me. And it's amazing how many people come out just to go and say they swam from Alcatraz and did a triathlon there. So
yeah, I did it just because I had the opportunity to do it. And oh, Danville, that's the name of the town. I've been up to Danville. And rode around up there. So
cool.
And I was like, whoa, this is really cool. I qualified for it at a Texas race. They had a qualifier, and we dove off of a ferry at this Texas race, and which was really good. It was almost exactly the same. And it's always been a dream of mine to swim from Alcatraz to shore, or vice versa. It doesn't matter. And then so then that's why I did it, and then and once
that's a typical story.
And then once I did the swim part of Alcatraz, I was done. I was like, everything else from here, I did the rest of the race, but I'm just like, everything from here out is just gravy.
Bucket list checked,
the list is checked, man. People are like, what have you ever done that's cool? I'm like, I swam from Alcatraz to shore. That's cool.
So, no, it's a cool race, and the whole experience. All the people I know have been out there. They love it, and it's good community feel, and it's been around for 30 years or something. So
yeah, it is an oddball race for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's not our stand, and I'm so amazed that the pros come out and compete at it, because it's like there's no barometer for it. They go and they race, and I think the girl. I think I saw today the girls came in around 2:30 or something like that, 2:37. I want to say.
Yeah, that's
I'm
amazing.
Like, how do you compare that to an Olympic distance? And that doesn't, it's like so.
Yeah, it's very vertical too. It's it's definitely one of the most challenging races I've ever done.
Oh yeah, I mean the whole thing. You look at it on Compete Hub, you can see the hills both on the run and the bike. And I've ridden through there before, and I've actually run at Christie Fields, and it's
it is hard. Running on the beach in the deep sand on purpose. Yeah. They run you into the sand.
It's not fun, and that's why it's not fun. I don't understand it. So anyway, I get why people do it, but it's not my cup of tea. So.
Well, cool, Mike. Thanks for being on the show.
Cool.
Maybe we can get you on again soon.
Definitely.
You got some new features and stuff you wanna
definitely
let us know about, and we can talk about those. That'd be really, really cool. I'm definitely into it. I'm loving it.
Yeah. Look, when we get the app out, I'd love to jump back on.
Oh, okay, cool. Because
that whole experience is going to be, it's not going to be different, but it's going to be sort of complementary to the existing experience. So, we'll be pretty excited about that. So I'd love to touch base back with you when we get that out.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, cool.
All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right. Thank you, Mike. And it's a little bit of a sponsored interview. They advertise on ZenTri, so I need to send you their way, which I think that interview pretty much did it. If you're not checking out that website by now, you should be. And another story is I have somebody that I coach, and we were looking for a race for him in Toronto in October, November this year, and there's nothing. First place I looked was Compete Hub, nothing. And I was like, well, maybe Compete Hub's database isn't complete or something. And then we looked everywhere else. No, there's just nothing. And but the first place I stopped was Compete Hub, and found out, there was no races for Adam, Chain Dog. And so we're going to have to find a marathon or something like that for him. So it's definitely a cool resource to go check out. So let's see. Let's go on with... I missed something in the news earlier when Tawnee and I hadn't talked for so long. We went on just a ramble about a lot of stuff. But Chris McCormack said he was going to do the Norseman triathlon, which is a nutso triathlon. And he was going to do it this year and make a big deal out of it. It's going to be really cool. And his brother is getting married like that same weekend or something. And so he said he can't make it. So he's going to put it off until next year, 2015, which is unfortunate. McCormack made a video and posted it about that. Okay, let's read off some donations to the show and some questions. I love this part. Okay. Let's see. Paul Byrogel. I cannot say that last name. Paul B. Made a nice little donation. Carrie Honing supported this show. And what I'm doing here is, if you donate to ZenTri, I got a bunch more to read. If you go on the left side of zentriathlon.com, and you can search for old interviews, like it's all kinds of cool stuff. You can see my training log, how I train, links to sponsors, and all kinds of stuff like that. And get a ZenTri t-shirt, which people love. It's a cool looking t-shirt. The t-shirt and the donation link to the podcast is on the left side of the page. You scroll down, the t-shirt's towards the bottom of the left side, and then just above that is the subscribe or donate buttons. And you can do a donation to the show two different ways. If you do subscribe, then that's $3.95 a month, and it's basically about $1 a podcast, which is pretty cool. And then it's just automatic, right? So you don't have to think about it again. But then you can go cancel it anytime you want, and then I'll get a donation every once in a while. I'll be like, oh, I can eat lunch. I'm not going to starve to death today. And then also there's a one-time donation, and you can always send me an email at texifornia@gmail.com, and I know the donors by name pretty well, and I'll recognize your name, and you can ask a question, and I'll answer it on the show. But with the one-time donation, it just happens to be this one feature where it says, hey, you want to leave a comment to the person you're donating to, which is me, and fill it in with your training question or your comment, and I'll read it on the show, man. Oh, and with the Hornet Juice that I was mentioning earlier, if you get Hornet Juice to support the show, I send you a personal email saying, hey, I'm sending it right now. How are you doing? And that's your opportunity to reply back and ask me a question and all that kinds of stuff. So anyway, that's what goes on with the donations. Let me hop back over here to my list. Every time I get a donation, I get an email notification, and then I throw it in my list here. And if there's a question or a comment, I read it, just like this one right here from Bruce. Brett, how awesome is this? You're thanking me. Way cool. Yeah, thank you, everybody. My life is so much better. This is me. This is Brett talking. From doing the podcast. Thank you, everybody. And it's made me a better person, a better athlete, and it's widened my reach and of my friends all around the world. And I can't imagine my life without the ZenTri podcast. One time I mentioned to Emily that I was if I didn't have some kind of fundage to pay for bandwidth or something like that, I was going to have to stop recording or something like that. And she goes, you are not stopping recording. Like, this is the best thing you've ever done. This is so cool. And Emily likes my side hobby, instead of being angry about it, like a lot of us are about things. Okay, so she just walked in and she's talking on the phone in the front door. Okay, so the email, you're going to hear her in the background. how awesome is this? You're thanking me. Way cool. Things are good in Ohio. Yeah, I asked him how things are in Ohio. He must have ordered some Hornet juice, I think. I recently found your podcast. Loved them. Hold on, I'm going to close the door to the bedroom while I walk over here. That's me talking. And listen every morning while I'm working out and getting ready for the JOB, as I call it. I call mine W to the ERK. And so much info. Yep. And thank you for being real and sharing everything. Training, family, random square moments. Square moments? What's that? Very cool. I'm signed up for my first 70.3 in September, Augusta. So your training and race reports are the bomb! Exclamation point. I'm sure. Oh, if you send an email and I read it on the air and there's exclamation points in it, I don't know. I have a habit of saying every exclamation point. So send them on and put exclamation points in and watch what I do. I'm unsure of the diet thing due to stomach issues when running. Oh man, yeah. I'll tell you what, once you figure out how to fuel and you're confident in it, oh, it's so relaxing. I've just recently really settled in on like how many calories and a nice mix. And I talk about it on the training log in this podcast that we'll get to in a minute. It's so nice, yeah. This is back to Bruce. I've been using baby food, like the squeezable pouch kind. Yep. Banana squash and some sweet potatoes and beets. Ever heard or tried it yourself? Question mark. And, I myself haven't done the baby food, on the bike or on the run technique, but I have almost done it, and I have looked at the ingredients and calorie counts and stuff, as if I was going to do it, and I'm definitely a fan. Okay, so what you got to look at is it's going to be fructose and fibery. And that can kind of be a little bit hard on your stomach. Like fructose can get kind of gassy for some people on their stomach. And then the fiber can be kind of hard to digest a little bit while exercising. So you got to watch out for that. And then the other thing is the overall calorie count isn't all that high. And hold on, I got a phone call. So I got to be right back. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Oh, man, I had to take that call. Okay, where did we leave off? It's been an hour since I left off. I got to find this again. And squeezable pouch. Oh, baby food. Okay. So I remember one time I was at my parents' house and I opened up the fridge and there's all these baby food jars. And I was like, what the hell is this? And my mom goes, oh, I'm trying to eat more fruits and veggies. And I'm trying to do it this way. She'd heard about some diet or something like that where it's easier to get in certain stuff because basically baby food is blended up, so it's really easy to digest, right? And so I'm not sure the whole reason, but anyway, she convinced me that it was totally cool. So I am aware that baby food is really kind of healthy in a way, and it's easier on the stomach than regular fruits and veggies, because it's made for babies. And the thing is a packet, one of those squeezable pouches of baby food seems to me to be overpriced and undercaloried for working out on a regular basis. And maybe making it yourself in a blender if you wanted to go through that. But then you got to get it into a packet. So I don't know. Like I'm trying. I'm going out of my way to find a reason not to. I'm out on the bike. I need to eat like 300 calories plus, around 300 calories per hour, and these things are like 100 calories per packet or something like that. So we're talking 3 packets of baby food per hour, and no, that's not going to work for me. I'm better off making my own stuff, and. But maybe for some people while running, it's pretty good. So you can put stuff in a Ziploc freezer bag, a small one that's kind of that tough freezer bag. It's like the thicker Ziploc, and cut off the corner and then squeeze it out. You can do stuff like that. There's all kinds of different stuff. I heard recently that Dave Scott was big into doing his own, dates and bananas and things like that. And that's probably why he lost to Mark Allen. And Mark Allen did all the processed crap because it is racing, and the race fuel, the totally fabricated fake stuff, is your body absorbs it faster, for better or for worse. So there's that. But I'm on your side with trying to be more holistic and healthy, and getting more nutrition and vitamins. I just don't feel good eating like totally processed stuff. Like I feel guilty, and also like I'm treating my body badly. So I try to go as natural as I can. And then I have tried UCAN before and liked it, so I thought I would try the Hornet Juice too. Yeah, I've tried UCAN. The whole thing with UCAN is basically it's starch, and then it's heat tempered. So that's what I think it is. You can find this stuff, UCANN, and it's really expensive. And basically, it's cornstarch or whatever, it's basically like maltodextrin. And then, but they heat treat it, and then heat treating it and then letting it cool back down makes it difficult for your body to digest it as fast, so it slows it down a little bit. Okay. I think in this episode of the training log, I go in detail about my own training fuel that's a mix of simple and complex carbs and other stuff that you can make stuff slower, kind of like you can on your own. So listen for that. Thanks again for sending the email and keeping it real. Jackie. Oh, Bruce. So, not Bruce, Jackie. And sometimes I get emails from people, and the email account's one name and then the signature's another. So, Weston Tanner donated to the show. Melissa Boudreau. And I'm partway through the most recent episode. It improves my commute. And I heard you mention using UCAN. Oh, I knew I was talking about it for a reason. Somebody else mentioned it. You said you could barely tell it works because it works so much in the background. Could you elaborate in your use and experience with it? I'm considering trying it since I see so many runners in my sport, blah, 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 marathons, having so much great success with it, like Meb, the guy that won Boston, yep, and ultra runner, OT qualifying hopeful Larissa Danis, and others. They talk about stable blood sugar, fat utilization, and getting lean. Currently, I use EFS liquid shot gel for long, hard runs. Otherwise, no sugar, just water, and always run in the morning, fasted unless you count FRS chews and beat elite long before the long runs. I don't take fuel before runs as stomach won't handle it. Recent podcasts I heard, and the coach to the U.S. Olympic marathon team says that's in your head, by the way. You think your stomach can't handle it. And if your stomach can't handle it on just a regular run, how are you going to take in calories when you need it on a longer run, is his argument. And also Jesse Kropelnicki as well. So learn to handle it. And there are benefits of fasted runs. Yes, there are benefits to fasted runs, but you don't want to do them all the time. You want to do it only occasionally, is what Tamsin Douglas just said on another podcast. And she knows her stuff. But wondering if I could benefit even more, at least some days, from UCAN. Yes, you can. Get it? Performance, my main goal, get faster, stronger, go longer. Okay, here's the thing. If you do more than just an occasional workout fasted, this is the current belief. An occasional workout fasted does teach your body, metabolize body fat. But more than that, you're actually compromising your workouts because you're underfueling your body and you're eating up muscle and bone to fuel your body through a tough event as in quote-unquote an event, like an episode, a training session, okay? So it's actually, you'll get stronger, faster, better if you actually fuel yourself correctly for most of them, and then in your daily diet, don't eat a bunch of crap. Okay, so, and then on occasion, do a fasted one, just to remind your body how to go without much fuel. But more than that is not good for you. Okay, and God, who was it? The interview with the Olympic coach, trying to undo that mindset with the marathon runners on the U.S. Olympic team. And he said if there was a gold medal for the team event, they would have won the gold medal in the marathon, having fixed all these runners and fixing their nutrition. And because when he first met them, they were all like, we get up in the morning and go run without eating anything. And he's like, that's terrible. Don't do that. And they're like, but we have to. I'd get sick if I ate and run. And he's like, really? And so he made them eat and then ran, and they were fine. In fact, I had better workouts. Okay, so back to the thing about UCAN. So all UCAN is, it's carbs. They just take longer to digest, like I was saying. They've been treated kind of like there's glass and then there's safety glass, right? So regular glass, you smash it, it breaks into really sharp shards that'll cut you up. And safety glass has been treated with heat and pressure, and then when you first, it's harder to break, and then when it does break, it breaks up into pieces that don't have sharp edges. They have less surface area, and they're more safe and take longer to cut you. Okay, harder to cut you. So that's what basically UCAN starch is. It's a super starch in their whatever terminology they want to quote, and this stuff is a little bit longer to digest. So in my own mix, I've started doing a mix of simple sugar and complex sugar and complex carbs and a little bit of fiber in there, and that does the exact same thing. It slows it down as well, right? Okay, so because the problem is UCAN is really, really expensive. And what if you need faster burning energy right this moment? Well, you don't have any because the stuff you're eating is so slow burn, and you need to climb a hill or something like that, and you almost bonk because you don't have any fast burn. So that's why EFS works so well, because it's a mix of fast and slow burn. And then they also recommend only like 200 calories or something like that. And also because it's so expensive, the UCAN, I think the human tendency is to not use enough of it, and then you're under-fueled during your workouts, and you end up in the long term not training as well. So, yeah, that's the thing about UCAN. But if you're rich and you can just blow money on it, then find out how much it takes for you to feel great during a workout, and then use it. Okay, and thanks for your donation. Okay, Jonathan Woodman donated. Ken Soderquist, longtime donor to the show, thank you. And John Taylor, big donation, and Big Shoulder Swim in 2015. Next episode, I've already started recording. I talk about that. My brother has started swimming again, and he was swim team captain for Lake Forest College, just north of Chicago. And I'm trying to get him to get in the swim, and I talk about that at length in the next episode, so we don't need to go into that here. And let's see, I clicked on Simon Wright, gave a nice donation, and Joe Rogalski. Oh, here we got a nice letter from Joe. Hey Brett, love the podcast. I've been listening for a few months after I heard about you on Endurance Planet. Cool. I actually have 2 questions, if that's okay. That's totally okay. I am a new triathlete, last 6 months, started running last summer, okay, and I'm making great progress after being sedentary and overweight for years. Currently, I'm using Ben Greenfield's Triathlon Dominator plan, but wondered about when is the right time to get a coach. Oh, this is a good question. Also, what is the best way to find one? I am planning on running my first 70.3 in September, and recently ran a sub 145 half marathon and a 121 sprint try. And also, I've recently changed my swim stroke by dropping my head, but now I'm getting terrible stomach pains after my sets. Someone told me I'm swallowing air. What can I do about this? Oh, I've already emailed him back, because the swallowing air and stomach pain thing really struck my curiosity, and I went and Googled it and found out that, yeah, he's swallowing air, and there was a, what was the technique to fix it? I'll remember it while I'm doing the rest of this part here. He wasn't letting out what happens is with the swallowing air thing, if you swim and your stomach starts to hurt and you start getting sick to your stomach and you get really massive pain in your gut, they say you're not exhaling enough. So you only exhale out partially, and then you take in more air. You need to breathe, so the air that you wanted to exhale doesn't have anywhere to go, and so you end up swallowing it or something like that. Anyway, it goes into your stomach and then into your bowels, and it hurts, right? And it's a real thing. And you got it, Joe. But anyway, I emailed him back about a week ago about this, and I hope with all the information, there's a thread on Slow Twitch about it. There's stuff online all about it. So that's what it is, and they got cures for it. So, and I sent that all to him. So got that. Okay, how do you find a coach? Okay, the right time to get a coach is when you find that the downloadable plans kind of work, and you have learned a little bit about how to train and how to train in structure, but the thing that a coach is going to do for you is give you accountability and inspiration. So you need to find a coach that really you want to impress, right? And that you will listen to, and you think that they're pretty freaking awesome, right? If I was to get a coach, man, I would think of some athlete that I think is like really, for me, and it depends on what level you're at and what you want to do and what kind of gear you have, right? So you want, if I was to get a coach again, I would get Mike Ritchie from D3 Multisport, because he's a level 3 coach. He knows the stuff just so well that his execution and his knowledge of all the exact stuff is spot on, but he's really expensive because he's that good. And then another coach, Jesse Kropelnicki from QT2 Systems, and Matt Dixon from Purple Patch. I recently inquired with Siri Lindley to see if she was coaching age groupers, because I'm at the point where, in my situation, where I think that for my next breakthrough, I'm a really good age grouper, right? And so my next breakthrough is, man, I'm gonna have to really dig deep to find something, to make me faster. And that's the level of coaches that can squeeze that out of you. And also they're people that I'm really impressed with. So I will do the workouts that they assign and not question it too much. And that's a whole lot of it, right? Now, another thing is the coaches coach in different styles, and they also require different equipment. So for a coach, a high-end coach is almost always going to require you to have a power meter so they can see how hard you're working on the bike, because heart rate doesn't tell the whole picture. And when you train and you upload your workouts to the industry standard, which is Training Peaks, you need a nice bike computer, so a Suunto Ambit or a Garmin, and it uploads power meter, that heart rate strap, GPS, and you upload your workouts, and they look at them in detail. This is what I do: look at them in detail, and then they pick out things that you should be doing differently, and a lot of it has to do with your nutrition, so you need to be familiar with how to log your workouts. So the first thing I would do is go into Training Peaks and log workouts for a while. They have a free account, and put in comments about how you train and what you ate and how you feel, and because a coach needs to see all that. And then now let's say that you're more of a beginner triathlete. Let's say Joe, right? Your example is you're a beginner triathlete. A power meter is not necessary. You can find coaches that'll coach you with just a heart rate strap, and I do that. I coach people with both. Of course, I prefer a power meter, and I try to once I'm coaching somebody and they start getting serious and they want to start getting towards the 10-hour mark in an Ironman, I'm like, dude, we got to get a power meter on you. That's your best investment. And a lot of times they ask me, I'm going to spend either money on race wheels or a power meter. I'm like, power meter. And but then I coach other people that are just doing, sprints and Olympics, and they're out there just to train and have fun, and they don't want to think about stuff too much, and they're not as into all they're not trying to milk every millisecond out of an Ironman. Then a power meter is not all that necessary. You can do more by feel and heart rate, which is nice. Okay, so that's your equipment. But yeah, after a while, the downloadable plans don't work anymore because there's no flexibility in them. And a coach, there's two different kinds of coaches. There's coaches that won't tell you why they're arranging things the way they are, and then there's coaches that will tell you. I'm the type of coach that will tell you exactly why. I think the more people that we educate on how to train out there, the better the sport is, and then more people will start doing it, and that brings me more clients because the word of mouth is this guy will teach you how to train. In a year, everything. I try to teach you everything that I know, and that's the most valuable thing. And then, but some people don't want to know that. Some people don't want to know why. They just want to do, and that I always find that really interesting when I coach people and they're like that. Just tell me what to do. And I'm like, okay, you don't want to know why? And they're like, no, just tell me what to do. Maybe they're busy, right? And they don't want to know all the why. They're not as fascinated with the why as some of us are. I think those of us that are fascinated by the why end up becoming coaches because it's so fascinating. It's so cool. Coaches coach in person, and there's also coaches that coach over the internet. So you live in a small town and there's no good triathlon coaches around you. You want to find one on the internet. Right? Then we go back to the one on the internet. What's their success rate? What's their style? Are they vegan friendly? Are they really good at long distance? Are they good at coaching women or good at coaching men? Are they good at coaching kids? I would try coach for a while, and if you're not happy, then move on. Try to find a coach that'll let you move on after a while. Things aren't working out, and just go. That's kind of hard to find, actually, though. A lot of coaches want a commitment, and that's part of that whole pay up front for 3 months, and they want $300 a month, and that's part of that whole mind trick on you to get you committed to doing this. You're paying a crap load of money, and now you're in, and so you got to do what they say, or else you've thrown a whole lot of money out the window. And then by the time 3 months is over, now you got it. Why they're coaching you the way you are, and now you're really in, and you're doing it. And now you're starting to see results. And if you didn't pay so much money up front, you would have bailed, and then hadn't hung around long enough to see the results that would have come. So. Yeah, Joe, send me another email with your your 3 coaches that you're looking at, and I'll help you pick one. How about that? Do that, dude. That's part of your luxury of being a donor to the show. I'll help you pick a coach. Let's see. Oh, and our last donor is Per Tornholt. What's up, dude? Per is the one that swim in Sweden, man. He sent us the. He's trying to get me in that swim, dude. I'm so into that. I love the idea of doing that. If Tawnee can't make it, maybe I could get my brother to freaking do it. My brother's got to be a terrible runner right now. That'd be hilarious. Okay. Let's see. Let's move on to the training log. Let's see if I missed any show sponsors. Sunto is a huge sponsor of Zen and the Art of Triathlon. The Ambit 2, I just answered a tweet. Somebody said, should I get the Ambit 2 or get the Garmin 310? Let me tell you something, man. The Ambit 2, and there's a 2R and a 2S, whatever. You can compare all these online. One of them has like a longer battery life, shorter battery life, one of them slimmer, but they're basically pretty much all the same watch. The Suunto's Ambit 2 is the freaking most beautiful triathlon training watch out there. It's incredible. I love it. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but it is way more than a GPS watch. It is a watch that makes you look kick ass at the office all day long, at work. I mean, the thing is gorgeous. I hardly ever take mine off. I just freaking love it. And it is built like freaking bulletproof, man. The thing is not going to break. It's incredible. So we have that. And Amrita. Just got some Amrita bars in the mail. And the chocolate maca is so freaking good, man. Love that. You can get... they're date, and they're like date-based bars that are organic and healthy and really, really, really good workout fuel and recovery fuel. And there's no nuts in them. There's seeds, but no nuts. So I have a friend that is a pro ITU racing triathlete, and he has a nut allergy, and he's sponsored by Amrita and loves it. So if you have a nut allergy, it's a really good solution. And kids love them. Kai loves it. Recently took a picture of him, hauling ass up a hill on a bicycle with an Amrita bottle and his triathlon kit. And Amrita also makes a killer triathlon kit. You got to go check it out. 15% off Amrita, AMRITA, if you go to amritahealthfoods.com. Again, that's amritahealthfoods.com. And discount code is ZEN. 15% off, man. That's huge. And I got 3 boxes. Pineapple chia, the chocolate, apple cinnamon. I think I may have got another box too. And we just put it in our pantry. And when you're looking for a healthy snack, you want a little bit of pick-me-up, man, it's so good. Okay. Is that it? I think that's it. Okay. Let's go on to the training log. Nice long training log. Lots of info in here. Just random training tips. I think I recorded more on the bike and more on the run this time around, so lots of cool stuff in here. I shouldn't delay any longer. Let's go ahead and get started with that. And after the training log, I will see you next episode. Out.
You are entering the ZenTri training log zone. Huneli.
Hi everybody, my name is Brett. I'm a triathlete. Hi Brett.
I decided it's time I got some friends more suited to my status.
But Joe, we've been friends for years.
Hey, we all make mistakes. Come on, dudes, let's go exercise! Exercise! Yeah! I'm gonna do sit-ups till I poop myself!
All right, training log. Monday morning, June 9th. Just half an hour ago, I quit recording on the last one, and I'm starting up a new one because I just thought of something that's pretty important I wanted to mention. I'll start off with I coach John Newman, who's just a fantastic triathlete, just really getting going with his abilities and kicking ass and everything that he's doing. Like every race that he enters, he like podiums, and and it's so cool to coach somebody that was just like so freaking good, man, and his results are just awesome, and he listens to the way I coach him, and he just turns around and just beats the crap out of the field, and it's so inspiring, to coach somebody that's so talented. And but anyway, he said he's got what is it? His next race, he wants to race without a bike computer, and my reaction to that was, I looked at the race is a long race, and I'm like, okay, so this is my advice on that. I wrote him an email, and then and I wanted to share with everybody why this is important to know, and also I had a training day yesterday where this came into effect. This is a well-rounded reasoning and approach to this kind of stuff. Okay, yes, on short stuff, sprints, and, a race that seems short to you, right? Everything's relative. And if a race seems short to you, then, yeah, you could totally go without a bike computer. Now, if a race seems long to you, so for most of us, we're talking at least a half Ironman, and definitely a full Ironman. You want to race with a bike computer on, because what you want to do is check the numbers on occasion, because the numbers will start telling you something is wrong, or that you're on track, wrong or right, but usually wrong, before it gets out of control and gets where it's going to take a huge time penalty to recover from it, right? Okay, so you're like, you can tell by checking your bike computer that your heart rate is dropping even though you're trying just as hard. Well, that means that you're probably under fueling, okay? Also, that means you're running out of gas. You're trying just as hard, but you're running out of gas. If you got a watt meter, a power meter, your power is down and your heart rate's down. That's definitely you're running out of gas. Now, why are you running out of gas, right? So you can correct course before things get too out of control and you really run out of gas and then you really blow up. So you can notice in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes or so that things are starting to come undone, and then take in more fuel, right, or more water, and then be all right. Now, heart rate starts going up at the same effort level, and that means you're getting dehydrated, right? Now, there's all kinds of things that if you train with power and heart rate long enough, you'll start noticing these things, and you'll start, because you'll be able to compare them, like, like usually when this happens, that means things are in my training ride, the numbers should look like this, Okay, now, and that's an hour-long dissertation on how to use power and heart rate, stuff like that, where you learn this stuff. Okay, now the problem is, if you constantly sit there and look at numbers, your output, your racing becomes no longer fun, and it becomes too scripted, and you're taking the joy out of racing. Okay, now if a race is short, you ought to race for the joy of racing. The race is just racing, right? Now, if you're racing long, crossing the finish line with a good time is so joyful that it's worth it to stay on top of your numbers, okay? To get halfway through a race and then blow up and then it sucks from there on out, you're kind of like, crap, And all that time and money that you sank into a longer race goes into the trash, and that's sad, Okay, so for the joy of racing, you stay on top of your numbers for the long ride, for the long stuff. Now, so how do you do that? How do you get the joy of racing in a long race because staying on top of numbers gets to be boring and it feels like it's just mechanical Turk, So the way you do it is this, and I did this on yesterday's training ride, is you ride by feel, and to feel good and feel happy, and then that's what you check in with most of the time, and then on occasion check in on the numbers, but don't live by them. Okay, so every few minutes you look at your numbers, which is fine. You have them up in front of you, but you purposely don't look at them too much, and you'll be fine. And on yesterday's training ride, I noticed that this was happening because it was a 3-hour ride, like 60-something miles, and when towards the end of the ride, I realized that I had only looked at my heart rate and power numbers only the tiniest amount, very rarely. And I was like, well, that's unusual. Usually I live by those, you know. But this time I didn't. And I had just a fantastic ride. Emotionally, it was very, very nice. And what I was doing to get this way was I said, the way you're going to do fueling and pacing is you're not going to eat on a schedule. You're just going to eat and fuel as needed. And if you start to get a little bit hungry, then take in a little bit of fuel. And if you start to get a little bit winded, then back off and just go like that, right? And so by paying attention to that feel, when I did look at my and drink a little bit. It gets hot, so drink a little bit more water than you think you need. Keep an eye on your fuel. Make sure you don't eat too much of it, because I have a problem with going through my fuel too fast. And then when I did look down at my bike numbers, they were really, really good. You know, and the whole point is you got to learn how to train and race by feel, because it's your feelings that dictate your overall, you know, ability. If you feel great, you're going to race great. And it was a really interesting ride where I was able to look down at those numbers on occasion. I didn't feel the need to look at them, because why would I look at them? Because I felt great. But I felt great because I was fueling and drinking and pacing by feel, and using that as my first indicator. And then and that gives me what I get, you know. And then every time I checked the my numbers, my heart rate was around 130, you know, which is good for me. That's right where I need to be. That's both not too hard and not too easy, and that means that my fueling's working well. And then my power was consistently in the low 200s, and I was like, oh, nice, you know. That's like really, really good. But I wasn't actually like living by my bike computer to see what the numbers are. I was more interested in what time of day it was, so that I knew when to put on sunscreen than anything else. I mean, it was really cool. So that's my tip for y'all this morning on living by the bike computer. Definitely you want to live by it in a way in a long race, but go by feel first. So anyway, I got to go in the W to the ERK. Out. All right, I'm on my way to the pool. It's an unusual way to record. Usually I'm leaving the pool. And I got a couple little things for you. One is I made a water bottle with matcha in it. I ordered matcha. I spelled it wrong on the last episode. It's instead of M-A-C-H-A, it's M-A-T-C-H-A. And it's powdered green tea. It's a little expensive. And I'm not sure, well, I know why, because it's rare. Anyway, you can't even find it in most grocery stores, even though they have a huge tea aisle. So it's powdered green tea. So I'm drinking that this morning. Ordered it by Amazon. I finally stepped up to Amazon Prime last night. I figured, you know what, I do live in a smaller town, so it's hard to find the stuff that I want, so it's worth paying the extra Prime fee so that I don't have to pay shipping, because the things we don't have are all on Amazon, so I can get those and get them delivered. There's a guy running down the side of the freeway. Well, feeder road. Good for you, dude. And then, yeah, it just tastes like green tea a little bit. Well, it tastes totally like green tea. It's 1 teaspoon of matcha is equivalent to like a strong cup of green tea. So I've got that, and then I squeezed just the tiniest bit of honey in the tea, the water bottle. And I filled up the water bottle like it's a smaller cycling water bottle, a classic looking one, and it's about 2/3 full. And I'm sipping on that. I had Raisin Bran for breakfast on the way. Well, before I left. And then, but with whole fat milk for the fat vitamins. Fat doesn't make you fat. Anyway, I did gain a couple pounds in just one day because of, well, I don't know. You know, that's hard to do, but water weight. But eating, you know, cookies and too big of a burrito yesterday, stuff like that. And yeah, not fat. It was grains, carbs, make you fat. Anyway, then what was the thing? Oh, so I continued on my investigation of what's bad for your teeth, and this time I decided I was drinking carbonated water, and I'm like, I wonder if carbonated water is bad for your teeth. Look it up. Yeah, it's bad for your teeth. And I posted that on Twitter, and people were so mad. One guy pointed out that actually one of the studies show that it's not bad for your teeth. So I need to look into that a little bit more. But so go research it yourself and find out, because it seems to be hard to determine. I'm going to Google it some more and see if I can figure it out. But the carbonation, carbon dioxide that you squeeze into the water to make it carbonated, turns into carbonic acid, I think, and that's what gives some of its bite. And when it combines with the water, and then it turns the water acidic. So that's bad for your teeth, possibly. So I'll look into it. If it is bad for your teeth, that's why. And they did the study where they dropped teeth into different glasses of different stuff and watched what happened. And the carbonic acid one, the carbonated water ate it up more than regular water, I guess. I don't know. I need to look into that. But anyway, watched a really good video, a seminar on polarized training yesterday. That was pretty cool. I think that's about it. I'm about to hit the pool, and I got a guy just sitting in my blind spot. God, that's so annoying. You go around. You know not to do that. All the places, there's like no one on the freeway. All the places in the world, he decides to sit in my blind spot. I'm gonna hit my brakes so you go around. You're really annoying. Anyway, it's distracting. Oh, dude, illegal U-turn. You can't be doing that. There was something else. Oh, well, I can't remember what it is, so it must not be worth it. I'll be back. Out, bang. All right. I'm out on the bike. Hope there's not much wind noise. Riding along the access road on Highway 6. Doing intervals. Got an easy spot between intervals. I guess I'll come to you between... Well, I'm not dying. I'm on my road bike. I lent my race wheels to a friend. And he flatted the rear. I just knew it, man. He lent something. He's like, I'll buy you a new tube. But it's like... or the new tire. It's like tire. The tube was $18. It's latex tube. And it had sealant in it. All gone. But that could have happened to me. You know? So, and I was starting to not enjoy the tire anyway. It was a 25. I want to go back to a 23. So, in the end, you can rationalize anything. It's cool. Let's see. Oh. We got about a minute before I got to do another interval. I'm trying brown rice flour in my water bottle. I'll probably talk about it some more. Mixed with the fast stuff. Honey and, what is the other thing? What do I have? Honey and maltodextrin and brown rice flour. Should have put a little salt in there. I forgot to slow down the sugar absorption a little bit, so you don't get so spiky. All right, I gotta do another interval. 8 minutes at 90% out. All right, that was interval number 2. Wait, hold on. I need to switch hands. Hold on. Put the recorder in the left hand, then you can use your rear brake and shift. Oh, here comes a car. Wow, a car. That's weird. Way out on a country road. 2 minutes into my interval, a huge armadillo runs out in the road. And he kind of runs out in the road and then goes, oh, crap. He was big. He's like a shoebox for a pair of boots is what he looked like. Like, he's big. and they have long claws, they dig. So he starts running across the road, trying to get out of my way, because I'm doing probably 25, 30 miles an hour. And I yell at him, but encouragement, I go, go, dude, go, because he's moving. And I started laughing hysterically because it's so funny, so cute. And except armadillos carry leprosy, random fact. So don't mess with an armadillo. But he reminded me of a fat guy in bike shoes, you know? Like, he's trying to scramble, and his feet are just slipping on the asphalt. It's chip seal, so it's real scratchy. You hear him go scrap, 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 trying to get away. It's really funny. So if you're doing intervals, you want to noodle around between intervals. Just go easy. So on my bike computer, I hit the lap button, and then I show current lap. And I do that for the interval and also the rest period in between intervals. So I can do whatever my interval I want it to be, 8 minutes. And then, yeah, like so right now I'm 247, 248 into my rest period between intervals. I'm trying 4 minutes. I think it's not enough. And then I might do 5 or go easier. So yesterday I was doing intervals in the pool, and after I do an 8 minute or so interval, I walk a 50. Or if your pool's deep, elementary backstroke. And there was something else about fuel. Oh well. Oh, 90% effort. So you're like, well, 90% of effort of what? Max heart rate? Max, watts? What are you doing? No, you know what's easier? 90% of whatever you got, right? So you hold back just a little bit. And then towards the end of the interval, as you're getting tired, you hold back just a little bit from that, right? It adjusts. Or if you get stronger, you do 90% of that, right? You hold back just that little bit, and that keeps you from getting injured or getting too exhausted. It's perfect. You get on your last interval set, it's like 90%. And you're like totally tired. Well, you give 90% of what you got, right? Don't worry too much about it. Works out nice. All right, I got an interval coming up. Let's see if I can ride no hands, turn this off. Out, bing. All right. That was interval number 3. I only got one more left of 8 minutes. Man, it's starting to catch up with me. Holy crap. Feels so good though. And then as you get to the end, you're like, oh, I'm dying. It's like, well, just give 90% of what you can, right? You can always give 90%, Just hold back just the tiniest bit. Oh, that feels good. Now I got to do some intersection jiu-jitsu up here. Make sure I don't get swiped. Man, after that last one, after interval number 3, I had to coast. It's really starting to catch up. Oh, that's nice. Beautiful morning. It's probably 70 degrees, 75 degrees. Clear skies, no wind. I'll be back. All right. Man, I'm pooped. 4 intervals, 8 minutes, so 32 minutes of hard work at 90% effort. 4 minutes rest in between. Very, very productive. And the 90% of whatever you got is far better. That's the first time I've done that. Far, far better than doing 90% of a certain watts or of a certain heart rate. Because as you fade or as you get stronger, or when you start out, you start going hard, don't go too hard. Let's go 90% of what you can do. it gives it elasticity, so you can get the most out of your body. Now, you wait like 3 days before you do it again, at least. Good stuff. Good stuff, man. I feel great. Wow, what a way to start the day. All right. I got to get my crap together to get the whistle working. Ow. All right, I'm done. Back at the house. A little comment on the brown rice flour. It's got a little bit of fiber in it. So that's actually part of what slows it down. But anyway, you have to shake up the bottle to get it to mix every time. But the EFS had the same thing. Out of my Amrita bottle. I need an Amrita bar. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna have a scrambled egg and go to work. Out, bang. All right, I'm back. I'm actually at my house. I don't know why my voice sounds like this. I'm at my house, chilling by myself. I thought I'd relax for a minute and meditate of sorts. God, I gotta come up with a better word for it. Clear my mind a little bit, and refocus. And the word meditate's so loaded. Oh man, there were some cool podcasts that I listened to that were about how meditation actually wasn't very popular at all in Buddhism and Zen until the British, and I think it was the British, and maybe in Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, or something like that, were fighting, and religion, they outlawed religion or something like that. I don't know. But then the resident Buddhists found a loophole, and this is just like 70, 80 years ago or something like that, found a loophole and said, oh, well, there's this one thing that's mentioned in the footnotes that Buddha talked about as some meditation kind of here and there. And then, so let's start doing that, because that's not really like outwardly religious looking. We're just sitting, right? And so they started doing that. I probably have the story all wrong, but it's very real, whatever this is. But I think I have the details wrong. But and then from then on, the perception of what is Buddhism and Zen and all this stuff is just tons and tons of meditation. When actually that's such a new method that was rarely practiced until recently. And isn't that crazy? Pretty weird. It like got huge and caught on, and now everybody thinks that that's the defining part of Buddhism when it isn't at all. According to this one expert who I listened to a podcast on. So anyway. But I was thinking about how I've mentioned on many shows, especially recently, that we overtrain, and then if you take a break, you come back way better than before, and over and over again. There's examples of athletes having to be forced to take a break due to injury or illness or having a baby or something like that, and they not that that's a break really, but then they come back and then win everything. Right? Because they know how to train. They've been training really hard. They just needed a break. And then now they can absorb all that training and really kick ass. And I was reading an article today about Kelly Williamson. And she won Ironman Texas this year. And she has never won an Ironman before. I think she's in her mid to late 30s. And she had to take off. She lives in Austin. She had to take off nearly a year probably due to leg surgery, and she fell down and had an injury from that. It's all kinds of crazy stuff, and so you're talking many months of devastating quote unquote losses or damage or injuries or sickness that you would think would ruin your training your chances of winning. And then lo and behold, she comes back and wins Ironman Texas. And just another example. What I'm trying to do here is promote the idea that we need to rest more than what you think, that we get sucked into overtraining, and because you get in the habit and it gets a little bit addictive, and then you get into a rut where you stop improving and then it gets worse. So sometimes it's good to take a break a little bit. You might actually get faster for it. Depends on the person. All right. I'm planning out my run here with Kona. Hey, Kona. Dude. We running? You want to go run? Yeah? He hopped up. Yeah, okay. Let me clear my mind a little bit here and focus and see what I got going on in my mind, and then I will come back. All right, Alpine. All right, leaving the pool Thursday morning. Nice little swim. 3,000 meters. 4 intervals of 8 minutes. Was going to do 4 minutes rest. I don't like 4 minutes rest. I like 5 minutes rest. Maybe 4 minutes rest is for young people. 5 minutes rest is for us elderlies. Just put my stuff up in the roof rack box above the Xterra. Let me make sure it's closed. Yeah, it's closed. Went for a really easy jog last night. And then Kona, our dog, had a seizure, which was fun. Because Emily and I were yelling at each other over her running on the treadmill from room to room. I think it freaked out the dog. He has a seizure about once every month and a half. This one wasn't all that great. It was kind of more. Anyway, pause. Listening to an audiobook. The obstacle is the way, or the obstacle is the path. I can't remember. But I've mentioned it before. I really like it. Lots of very famous people throughout history analyzed and quoted and about how hardship actually makes you better. And not necessarily hardship, but the thing you want to do least is probably the thing you need to do the most, that kind of thing. And I'm on this one part where he mentions that this one specifically covers death. And death can happen at any time, so live your life always aware of that, you know. Don't put off things too long because they're, don't earn so much money that you can't spend it, that kind of stuff. Or if you do earn it, spend it. Or do have a plan for it, something. I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Oh, I got some tea. I'm going to try not to slurp into the microphone. Okay, so a cool thing that was mentioned was a Roman saying. I think it's Roman, but it's Latin. Memento mori. Memento means remember, and mori means you are mortal. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm listening to this audiobook while I'm putting on a shirt that has a skull on it. It's just a t-shirt from wherever. It's got Thunderhill Motorcycle Club on it with a skull with wings, which I love skulls with wings, and then crossed wrenches underneath. So, but we have this thing in culture. The whole thing with skulls is to remind you of death. So don't think that you're immune to dying. That death is real. It's kind of neat that we do that kind of subconsciously, just as a reminder, And then another thing that he said, the author, it's an audiobook, was saying that was kind of spooky was as much as you think you are worth, how much do you think you're worth? And you think you're great and basically worth a lot and have lots of value and are kind of indestructible, beyond death. Now, remember that no matter how much you're worth or who you think you are, there's always somebody out there that'll kill you for $100. I think he said 1,000, and I was sitting there thinking, no, probably 100, just for your wallet. Just pop you over the head, shoot you, whatever, stab you, take your wallet, your shoes, whatever you got, They're desperate, they don't value your life so much. A tiger will eat you not for $100, but for lunch, Anyway, so that is that. I'm going to go back to listening to my audiobook. Oh, the 4x8. I'm working on 2 books of my own right now. And one of them is covering training and not training by numbers too much is one of the topics. And there's this thing where we get focused on numbers, run so many miles, swim so many yards or whatever. When, for example, studies show that the most impactful interval training is 8 minutes long. Well, you just look at your watch, intervals that are 8 minutes long. Swim 8 minutes, is that 500 yards? Is it 1,000 yards? Is it 650, The yards, the pool doesn't care. The length of the pool does not give a crap about you and your body and how far you swam. Actually, time and intensity is far, far better. So when I write workouts for swimmers, I tend to do, warm up 10 minutes, then swim 5 minutes hard, 4 minutes easy, 10 minutes hard, 3 minutes easy, stuff like that. And I make sure it adds up to about, I got to pass somebody. I make sure it adds up to about, let's say I want them to swim for about an hour, and it's about an hour workout, and then that workout works for everybody. If you're faster, then it's more yards. If you're slower, it's fewer yards. It's pretty cool. So look forward to that book coming out. I've actually been working on that one pretty hard. And Tawnee and I need to catch up with our surfing book. All right, that's it. Out, bang. All right, I think I'm in the right place. Am I in the right place? Leaving in the morning. Man, I had a bike ride this morning that was pretty nice. But it was hard work. I woke up late. But I'm like, man, I can make this freaking happen, dudes. And I did. I managed to wake up at 5:30 and then get on 5:32 actually, and still eat a bowl of cereal, make a cup of coffee, and get on my bike and be biking, wheels moving at 5:58 or 5:59. So in way less than half an hour, I was ready to go. And the way I did it was last night when I finished my bike ride, I left everything exactly as it is so that I could just hop on and go without it being a big deal. Helmet, gloves, heart rate strap, kit. I wear my cycling kit 2 days in a row, usually, because you wear it once and then wash it. Hey, man, you're wearing your crap out, and it's already dirty and you're going to get dirty again, so just wear it twice. But you need to air dry it. And so hang it up. I usually use your bike like a clothing rack and let the stuff air dry on that. But anyway, I've got a Blackburn something, handlebar mounted light that you USB charge. And man, a lot of times it doesn't charge and it just conks out. So that was interesting. Last night stopped on a bike ride and took a picture of an armadillo, posted that on Twitter. He was right out in front of me. And they're so well armored. They're not in any great hurry to get out of your way if they don't feel like you're going to hurt them. So they got a little bit of that rabbit in the headlights kind of freezing. Saw an owl this morning. And I'm out there riding going, man, I wish I could do this every freaking day or every other day, when I want to go ride and it never be cold. And just do this every time, and it always be enough daylight. I mean, it's daylight at 6, and I'm like, man, this sucks having to go indoors in the winter and not be able to do this. This is awesome, man. So, but I mean, that's just life, you know. And I'm working on something that's kind of fun. Matcha, which I've talked about before, green tea powder that you can't find in any grocery store, apparently. You have to order it online. Honestly, all you need is food grade. You don't need ceremonial grade. And then a tablespoon of it in your water bottle is like a serving of green tea. And it's nice, man. It's really, really nice. I like it. And I did that in some Hornet juice, which you can get on the right-hand side of the webpage. ZenTriathlon.com. Get some Hornet juice. Filled an order yesterday from somebody. And, we got a little traffic situation up here. I'm going to go around. And I'm trying to think what else that we got done. Oh, man, fiber. Let's cover that. A lot of what we're missing in our diet that makes us healthy is the stuff that slows the food down. You don't have to go low carb. You just need to go slow carb, man. A lot of our food's so processed that you digest it too fast and then it spikes your blood sugar. You can buy fiber, which is really corn husk kind of stuff, and it's ground up. And take a pinch of that every once in a while, several times a day, and throw it in some water. I'm drinking some right now. I got ice water in my lap that I'm drinking on to cool down for my bike ride as I'm driving to work this morning. I can taste the tiny little bits of fiber coming through. And that puts fiber back into your diet. So you can mix it with your coffee, you can mix it with everything. All you got to do is just stir it every once in a while so it doesn't clump up. There's some kind of fiber that doesn't clump up as much. I don't know that much about that. But anyway, it slows down everything and fills you up a little bit more. It might be the trick that you need to lean out a little bit, maybe. You know, they say we don't get enough fiber, and there's your fiber. It's easy to do. I keep a Ziploc bag of it at work. Take a pinch out of it every once in a while. Drop it in whatever I'm drinking, and it works pretty good. And then I wrapped up The Obstacle is the Way last night. And on the audiobook version of it, there's a long interview. It's well over half an hour, I think. Let me stir up my fiber water. In some countries, they add fiber to, like just what I'm doing, to Cokes, and then, to sodas. And it's supposed to be a sales gimmick, that it puts a little bit of fiber in your diet and helps you lose weight even better. And that's actually useful. And then here in America, we don't do that. Okay, but anyway, this interview with the author was done by Tim Ferriss, the 4-Hour Workweek guy, and tagged on to the end of that. And it's as good as the book. And man, it's really good. This author of the book was 26 years old, and he's already the director of marketing for something, and he dropped out of college. He's one of these guys that, Steve Jobs dropped out of college, Bill Gates dropped out of college. This is one of those guys that's like figured out that he already knew how to do what he needed to do to want what he wanted to do. So you don't need to go to college for it, and he's like super, super successful, and well read, well written, just all together got his crap together, and the interview is just really cool, and has lots of productivity tips in there, and something I got out of it that was really cool is philosophy. Especially Stoicism, which was the Greeks and the Romans, one of their celebrated philosophies, which was actually crushed by Christianity. because the church, the Christian church or Catholicism or whatever, got so powerful that they're like, well, you don't celebrate God or Jesus in this branch of philosophy, so we got to outlaw it, right? So you could actually like maybe go to prison or something like that, but if you believed in it or something. But anyway, Stoicism and philosophy is meant to be practiced, and that he said that Stoicism isn't taught in college and maybe high school so much because there isn't much left to be. It's so plain because it's for working. It's for using. It's so plain that there's not much middle ground for professors to leave, to do assignments and things like that. To like, what do you think he meant by this? You know how they do that? Write a 5-page paper on what he implied by this. It's kind of like read between the lines. Well, there's no lines to read between. The stuff is just straight. Like this is what it is, and it's actually so Zen. It's unbelievable because Zen is the same way. Zen is so much the same way that actually, I guess this is your Zen moment. They go to the point of saying that even talking about Zen is not Zen because now you're talking about it instead of doing it. And as soon as you start describing something, it's no longer what it is. Now it's the words that describe it. Like you got a frog, and now tell me about that frog. You're like, well, the frog is green, and it's no, the frog is frog. That's the frog. Here's a frog. Put it in your face. Frog. This is it. Anything else besides frog is you have to get away from the frog, step away from it to describe it, right? You have to step away from it to look at it, and then you're no longer it. And that's a big thing in Zen, is don't talk about Zen, do Zen. Anyway, so I'm at W to the ERK, almost. Training style is severely polarized. My bike rides and my runs have been really, really, really easy so that I can do intervals really strong, and I'm enjoying it. And boy, when you really, really slow down, you can tell that this is a good training tip right here. You can tell that you're fat burning. I don't think I mentioned this earlier. There was a study where they analyzed people from all different abilities and put them on a treadmill or on a bike or something like that, on bikes, and said go at your comfortable pace, like work, but comfortable, where you can just kind of cruise. The paces were all over the place, cadences, everything all over the place, because these are all different people of all different abilities, but there was one correlating factor that they were all doing, and because they were blood testing them along the way, and the one correlating factor was that they were at the top end of their fat burning zone. That they were burning predominantly fat, all of them, and none of them were in predominantly carb burning. And they said what they think is going on is the brain sends signals that as long as it's in the fat burning zone, that everything's cool. We can do this all day. And if you go into the carb burning zone, it sends an alert to you that this is a limited endeavor, and don't do this for very long, right? So then you slow down, because the lab instructor said we want you to be able to go all day, go easy, right? So the top end of everybody's is fat burning. So when you go out on a ride and you want to practice not being carby too much, ride at a very casual pace where you feel like you could go all day, that's the top of your fat burning. Go as fast as you can in that pace, but no faster. And that's the top end of your carb burning zone, or of your fat burning zone. And if you don't like it, how slow it is, or basically how slow it is, then if you wish you were faster at it, then you need to do it more so that you become more efficient at executing that, and get stronger at it, and get better. Yeah, just more efficient. Get better at playing those scales, and then you'll be able to do it faster and faster and faster while still being fat burning. How about that? All right, I got to go inside. Out, bang. All right, hold on. I got to get this thing out of the bag. This is cool. Hold on. Sorry about all that. Okay, dude, I just finished an interval run on the. I got water in my throat. Water in my windpipe, and I'm going through the numbers, and I just realized something. Okay. This is really cool. There's been a software update on the Suunto Ambit 2, and I was doing intervals, and of 4 8-minute long intervals with about 4 or 5 minutes rest in between. And check this out. It gives me a summary of each thing, of each interval. I averaged a 9-minute mile, 9:02, and I ran for an hour and 1 minute. So this is so cool. Next, my fastest mile was 7:10. Let's go back. Okay. 390 feet of whatever gain. Okay, here we go. It gives a summary of each lap, and then the sub-summary, which is so cool. 10 minutes and 40-second warm-up. Just under a mile. Next. Then, oh wait, back. Lap 1. Okay, lap 2, 8 minutes, right? So an 8-minute long interval. And I ran 1 mile. Average 137 heart rate, so average is 741. And let's see, lap 2. Lap 3 is I ran easy for 5 minutes. Okay, the next 8-minute interval, I ran 1.1 miles instead of just 1 mile, which is a 7:17 pace. This is cool. Okay, and then 4 minutes and change rest. I had Kai run with me on the first interval. We had family run night on Friday night. It's pretty cool. Dad core. Okay, Father's Day weekend. Lap. Third interval, 8 minutes, 1.12 miles, basically the same. Who knows why? Could have been hilly or something. And then, but my heart rate's getting higher, 145, average heart rate. Average to 713 for that one. And then 5 minutes of going easy. And then an 8 minute had a 726. Oh, that one was really hilly. I ran uphill most of that. I started off down low by a creek bottom. 1.09 miles. That's cool. I didn't know they added that. A little summary. Pretty neat. I got stuff stuck in my throat. So an interval run. This is my first interval run doing 4 by 8 minutes. I really like it. And I thought it would be kind of hard too hard because it's running. No, man. 90% effort. You know, of your let's say of your max heart rate. That's like for me, my max heart rate's like 180. Let's say 182. So that's like 160. It's not that bad. And I hit 160 a few times. And I went over it, I think, at one point, going uphill. There's people down the street walking their giant Great Pyrenees. It's huge. And so we all started off running together. And Kai and Emily were all running together. And I took a selfie of all of us. And then Kai's back from a road trip. He hadn't worked out in about a week. And he's like, Dad, I can beat you. And I go, let's see if you can keep up with me on one interval. And he's like, he ran a mile in 7 minutes, right? On track practice a few months ago. And so I had full confidence he could keep up for one interval. And I say, if you beat me in one interval, or you keep up one interval, I'll give you $1. And then we rest. And then we're going to do another one. I said, each interval you can keep up with me, I'll give you $1. He's like, okay. We weren't even halfway through the first interval, and he gave up. Hey, there's my cat's twin brother. Hey, buddy, what's up? His name's Jedi. Now he's running away. He's like, who's that huge guy? But anyway, so I just circled back, and he ran with Emily, and then as we got closer to the house, I happened to do an interval that ended right before I caught him. So I pretended like I had to quit. I couldn't catch you. And he liked that a lot. He took off running all the way to the house, beat me. So I was telling Emily, people have to, have control of their own conditions. And once I started beating him in an interval, it wasn't under his control anymore, and he wanted to quit. But then when he was in control of the run towards the end, and I was trying to catch him, and then he failed, or I failed, that was his control. So he kept pushing. He didn't give up because he was in control of that situation. He created that situation. He happened to already be in front of me and happened to be running. And then I was chasing after him. So that's a little human psychology right there. People feel out of control. They give up. Create your own conditions, and you'll be more motivated and more likely to finish. How about that? All right, I'm at the door. Let's see what happens. And hello, Lucy. I'm home. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm at the neighborhood pool. Swimming. It's just a gate access pool. It's the 25-meter one with no lane lines. It's just a blue. It's my little mini Lake Tahoe. It's just blue. No markings on the bottom whatsoever. So you just swim until you hit a wall. No lane ropes. Ooh, it's kind of murky. There's a dead bug floating in it. That's pretty normal though. I was a lifeguard for a few summers in Houston. You wouldn't believe what's in these pools at night. Raccoons. Anyway, I'm gonna swim, and I'm gonna do the polarized thing. I swam twice hard this week already, and so this swim's just gonna be easy. And what you do is swim in a way where you can tell that you're not going into the carb burning zone. So it's just a relaxed pace. And you view it as kind of recovery. You can hear these birds. Recovery / technique-based swimming, and the time actually works you out anyway, but without sending you into burning tons of carbs. Anyway, I talked to Brian Broad last night. That was really cool. And after I swim, Brian Broad had a PR on a marathon, the Boston Marathon, which is pretty cool. And then I'm going to try to get him on the show. And when I come back, I'll try to talk about this bike tire that I've got. That's a mess. I'm going to risk my life out on it one more time, maybe, just to be exciting. Although I shouldn't. I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'll be back. Bang. All right. Kind of a crappy swim. I didn't eat enough for breakfast. And I'm honking at Emily's dad. Papa! Let me drive over there. I'm swimming at Emily's brother's pool. And yeah, I should have had some more breakfast. I'm not shaky, but I'm just in a grumpy mood. Swam half an hour and I was done, which was the goal anyway, but I could have done better. And let's see what's going on over here. Hold on. Hey, what's up?
Have we been swimming?
Yeah, John moves, man. I'm going to lose my pool.
Do what?
John moves, I'm going to lose my pool.
No, I think there's a pool where he is.
Oh, yeah. So what's up?
Not much.
All right. That's Emily's dad, and we talked about hay and water, cows, Travis River, Lake Travis is what he meant. And then food, breakfast. Anyway, I love him. He's awesome. Emily's dad runs a ranch by himself with 50 to 100 head of cattle and like 4 or 5 horses. Anyway, didn't eat enough for breakfast, and even just swimming easy was, well, the other thing is 2 cups of coffee, and that gets my system agitated, and there's not enough fuel to power that adrenaline off of that. So there's a tip for you right there. And then don't drink so much coffee. And what was I going to tell you about? Oh, this tire. So when I was in Spain at at John Hirsch's training camp, I had a tire that got so slashed up that that it wouldn't hold the tube anymore. It was just too dangerous. So Todd, this guy that I made friends with, he's pretty cool, gave me a tire to use for one ride that he was a little wary of, but it would at least work. And the sidewall got scraped up somehow, and so it's a little threadbare on the sidewall on one part. And he said he wasn't wanting to ride it because it made him nervous, but maybe it'll make it through a ride. And I was like, yeah, because it's a 25 millimeter tire. And I was like, oh, I could put that on the rear. That'd be kind of cool. Have specially staggered tires, like in Days of Thunder. And then a 23 in the front, 25 in the rear, kind of like a drag racer. And when my buddy borrowed my tire and he had a flat, I figured out, whenever you change a tube, spend a lot of time trying to figure out, or a lot of effort, trying to figure out what made it go flat, and that'll prevent you from having more flats. And here's a good story from that, because usually you can trace exactly where the flat happened on the tube, and then you can see, oh, there's a piece of glass in there. And you put another tube in there, it's going to be, you go 3 miles, and you're going to have another flat, and again, and again, and again. And I've seen it happen on group rides. Then you're like, why didn't you check? Did you check to see what caused the flat? No. Well, how do you know it's not going to do it again for whatever thing did it? Anyway, what was I going to say? So I traced the flat back to the sidewall, and I was like, something let the tube pop through that sidewall that's threadbare. So I aired it up and then listened to it and see where the air was coming out. And so what I did was I took the tube out. I put a piece of duct tape over that sidewall on the inside because that'll give it some strength. It'll seal it up so that things won't poke through. It's not airtight, but it keeps things from poking through. And then because the flat was probably from it bubbling through just a tiny bit and getting the tiniest bit tear. And then I took the tube and flipped it around 180 degrees so that the old hole in the tube was now on a fresh piece of sidewall anyway that didn't have this problem. So I moved the hole and I sealed up the problem, and the tube has sealant in it. Sorry. And coughed right into the mic. Sorry about that. And so then it has Bontrager sealant in it, and so I kind of spun it around and let the sealant get over that hole area, and I left it laying on the ground so that the sealant pooled over where the hole is. And overnight, it sealed it. It's holding air at 120 psi this morning. And, well, I put it to 120 PSI last night. Who knows what it is this morning, but it's hard. And, but then inspecting the tire, it's bulging just a little bit in two places. So I got on the internet. I specifically got Amazon Prime a couple days ago because you get free shipping with lots of stuff. And based on where I live, where I don't have access to lots of selection of things, so when I start ordering stuff online, I have to pay shipping a lot of times. The only place I can find stuff is online. Then I got to pay shipping, and so now with Amazon Prime, I'm more inclined to buy the stuff I need because I don't have to pay, because I get mad at the shipping costs. Well, with Amazon Prime, I get free shipping, and then so I ordered a new tire. The fastest all-around tire for cycling right now, everybody's really, really happy with, is Continental Grand Prix 4000S, and there's 4000S 2s, and there's Grand Prix 4000S with black chili compound. Anyway, they all ride really fast, and they have decent flat protection as far as strength, and there is a big difference in tires as far as how fast you go based on the tires, and they do lots of testing, and the Grand Prix 4000S rates the fastest. So I ordered a 23. I'm going to go back to 23s, and but the tire itself is bulging just a little bit where the threads are weak, and it's got me nervous to go on. I was going to go on one more ride on it, and then I saw it bulging a little bit, and I'm like, oh man, I don't want it to blow out while I'm riding, catastrophically, and die. Be the worst case scenario. So stay tuned, and you'll see what happens. I can either see I'm lazy and I want to leave it on there on the bike, but really what I should do is just cut bait is the phrase, and put my training wheels on until the new. I've got it. Put my road bike wheels on it until the tire shows up, and then swap it out. But anyway, we gotta go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast. It's Father's Day weekend. Out, bang. All right. Maybe you can hear those cicadas. I'm trail running. 1.5 hours. Done. Ran out and back for 45 minutes one direction on a trailhead, and then out and back 45 minutes the other direction on a trailhead. It's getting dark. It's at night, Saturday night. The first 45 minutes to the left, Kai and Emily went with me. Kai rode his new mountain bike that y'all helped pay for. He's just on non-stop talking about how cool it is. And then he's seen enough triathlons where he goes, lead woman, lead male, lead female, lead male, like pretending we're winning a triathlon. And you have the one guy on the bike that's leading through. He's seen that at Ironman Texas and half Ironmans and stuff. It's pretty cool. And nice family workout. And we brought 2 cars to the trailhead, and Emily and Kai took off after they were done, and then I went for another 45 minutes the other way, like I was saying. And I'm parked illegally, so I hope nobody really messes with me. Getting the key out. And for fuel, I had an Amarita bar before I took off, and that was nice. And ran on that for a while. And then had a water bottle made up with some maltodextrin and brown rice flour, where you can buy the brown rice flour at a grocery store. And what did I do after that? Just sip it on that, and then rinse my mouth out with fresh water. Oh, I had some honey in it to there you go. Had some honey in it to make it taste better. Make a little bit of sweet, get a little bit of fast acting in there with that brown rice. Let's close this door. I'm gonna drink some water for a second, cool down before I get in the car. It is hot and humid. Let's put the phone up here. Hope it doesn't slide away. There you go. The phone's sitting on top of Kai's bike seat, on top of the bike rack, hanging off the back of the Xterra. Nice bottle of water. I wish it was cold. Oh man, I have a Shiner beer waiting for me back at the house. There you go. I forgot about that. Oh. We had Father's Day breakfast at Cracker Barrel. What a disaster that restaurant is, man. I mean, I grew up going to Cracker Barrel every once in a while because I grew up in the deep south until I was 9. But my God, trying to find something that's healthy there. I mean, it is nothing but just horribly, horribly deep fried, greasy food. So finally I got scrambled eggs and they were so greasy. And then the only green thing that I could find for breakfast on the breakfast menu was green chilies to add on there. So those were probably soaking in butter as far as I know. And, I mean, there's nothing wrong with all kinds of natural foods, but man, you got to limit some kind of crap, you know? So, but it was nice. A nice breakfast. And then around lunch, took a nap, and then I did coaching all afternoon. And man, I can get a lot of coaching done if I lay back and get relaxed and then have TV that I like to watch, like streaming video, off to the side. And I'll just sit there and crank out coaching. And polarized training is really easy way to coach, man. I like it. It makes my life really easy, and I was telling Morgan this, I can pay attention to what the athlete's doing a whole lot better. I was on Slow Twitch, and some people were saying that like nobody in America teaches polarized method. I teach it, coach it, whatever. Whole lot of easy. But man, your easy's got to be easy. I was cruising along on this run going super, super easy. And it's really, you can't go easy enough, man. And then when you do that for a few days, man, you can knock out a killer interval set. And then that interval set will make you stronger. And then you go right back. Go back to bed. Go back to easy. Okay, I'm going to go get myself a beer. Let's turn this off. Leave y'all with some tree frogs, cicadas. Sounds pretty. This is what Texas sounds like. Central Texas sounds like at night in the summer. I hope y'all can hear this. This is beautiful. Humid. All right, out. I forgot to mention, I found a bird feather on the ground. A really nice, clean, pretty one. Looks like a crow. I'm going to give that to Kai when I get back to the house. He'll dig that. Likes that kind of stuff. All right, out. Bang. All right. Halfway through a 3-hour bike ride. Hour and 36 in. And I'm in front of the Milliken post office in the shade, trying to cool off so I can stop sweating so much so I can put on sunscreen because it's getting to be, what time of day is it? It's 9:30 in the morning, and I got an hour and a half left, so I'm going to start putting on sunscreen. And you might be able to, I'm sure you can hear the breeze and the occasional car. This is one of those post offices where the front door's open and you can come in, and it's just a small building. I don't think there's anybody here, but a truck just pulled up. Guy got out, truck running, keys in the ignition. Went in and checked his post office box, I guess. And got back in his truck and drove off. So, over here in Old Milliken, they got some cows over there. I'm sure you can hear the breeze now. I'm looking at my left, I'm looking at about 20 head of cattle. There's a lot of babies in there. One of them just started bucking and running all over the place, having fun. And then to my right, on the other side of the road, is a chain link fence. It's maybe a quarter of an acre, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goats. in there. And then I heard a rooster just a minute ago, twice now. And that's Milliken. There's a real small, modest house that's right next to the post office. I'm in their side yard, and they got a Texas flag flying out front. It's mostly cloudy, but some blue sky peeking through, which is good. A little bit of sun protection. And yeah, it's Father's Day. Having a nice day. Kai's article ran in the paper. Oh, here comes the beagles. This beagle chasing a baby bird. I think he's just going to wear that. Hey, come here, baby. What's up? Well, come here. What are you doing? You having a nice time? Playing in the grass? Sniff the microphone? All right. Oh, my fuel is brown rice flour for 3 hours. 150 calories of brown rice flour, 300 calories of maltodextrin, a teaspoon of matcha powder, which is green tea, makes the whole thing green, and 3 tablespoons of honey. It seems to be about right. Oh, and a few teaspoons of sea salt. I think that's it. I had an Amrita bar before I took off after breakfast, and then I've got an Amrita bar in my bento box in case I run low, so I can eat up. And that's life. I'm cool enough now. Let's put on some sunscreen. Out, bang. All right, bike ride over, and I have some quick tips for you, or at least one tip. It's hotter, and my body tried to play that stupid trick on me that it did at Ironman Texas, where it's really hot right now, and humid, and so your power starts to fade, and you start to feel a little bit sick to your power starts to fade first, and it's because you're not digesting your food because you don't have enough water, because you're sweating out all your hydration instead of holding on to it to use for digestion. So the water you would be normally using to help digest your fuel to power your workout is being diverted to keep you cool, and you start having. I think with me, the first symptom is underfueling. I got kind of grumpy for a little bit. I was like, man, I'd rather be at home and whatever, and I don't want to be out here doing this. And I was like, well, that's not true. I really wanted to come out here, and the countryside's so beautiful right now. I saw a parent skunk and then 3 little baby skunks all walking along the side of the road, which was pretty cool. And then I saw a coyote after my last recording. That was pretty neat. Run across the road and stand in the middle of the road and stare at me. It was a big one too. And then what was my point? I'm like, I started feeling, I think I wasn't eating quite enough, and then so I fueled, and then for a little while I was doing okay, and then I started feeling sick to my stomach a little while later, and I was like, wow, you're probably not drinking enough water. Drink more water, right? Because you start feeling sick to your stomach, well, then you can't digest, and you start feeling weak. And then so sometimes we incorrectly start fueling more because you're feeling weak. That's the downward spiral right there. That's what messes you up. Don't do that. Now you have even more fuel in your stomach with even less water, and then you get really, really sick. So I said no. Water, just water for a while. And I drank water for a while, and then eventually started to feel a whole lot better. And then finished out the ride with having calculated exactly the right amount of fuel. So I think I'm onto something with for me, something that really works. Oh, that reminds me, I need to get the Amrita bar out of my bento box. And it was cool having some extra calories where if I felt like, I needed them, I could have them. And then got back to the house and had a Shiner Bock beer, which is this famous beer here in Texas, maybe more around the United States too. And then a sandwich with Emily with sriracha sauce and kai on it. Posted my workout. Oh yeah, that reminds me. Numbers were just a hair bit slower than usual, but because I was not trying anywhere near as hard as I usually do, and it's really cool. There's a you have a choice when you bike about how you want to work your legs. You can work them very lightly and work your aerobic system, or you can slow down the cadence a little bit and work the muscles in your legs and give your aerobic system a break. So on today's ride, to keep from getting overtrained and just to have a relaxing ride, I slowed down the cadence a little, just a tad bit, and then anytime where I could think about it and I could choose, I would pick just a slightly bit lower cadence, and then I could tell towards the end of the ride what that does. A lower cadence, it's like lifting a heavier weight, and it fatigues your muscles, but it doesn't fatigue your aerobic system. So it's actually like lifting a heavier weight a little bit slower, and it's nice, man. It felt like just really nice on the legs, and I wasn't driving my heart rate up or anything weird like that, and I was actually really, really enjoying it, having a nice ride. And when I finished, my legs felt like they'd gotten a workout, but my aerobic system wasn't all, thrashed. And anyway, 3 hours and so many minutes for 60 something miles, ended up being almost just barely under 20 miles per hour, which is pretty cool on the tri bike. And I rode my road bike wheels on my tri bike, so I didn't have to worry about the rear tire blowing out, the rear tire that has the potential flat on it, the impending flat and blowout from the tire coming apart that's on my race wheels right now. So I switched them out and went and rode that. And I think that's it. I'm going to enjoy the Father's Day. I think we're going to go to Academy. I'm going to take a nap for a little bit, and I'm taking a caffeine nap. That's where you drink a cup of coffee or something like that, and then take a nap, and by the time you wake up, caffeine's kicked in and you feel good. I wrote about it on the internet. I love it. And we're going to go to Academy, and Kai wants to spend time with me. We're going to go there and just look at cool stuff. And I think that's it. All right, out, bang. All right, this will wrap up the show. I'm here with Superstar Kai. Are you the kid that was in the paper?
Yep.
What are you eating there?
Ice cream.
Why are you eating ice cream?
Because I just did a bike ride.
Oh, this is your recovery fuel?
Uh-huh.
Oh. So you and I went running and you went biking on your mountain bike?
Yes.
How was it?
Really fun.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You blinked a lot, like your brain was out to explode. It was so cool. People can't hear you when you do that.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Blink, blink.
Yeah? And we went to the pool?
Mm-hmm.
Threw the ball around?
Yep.
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 All right, so it's been an awesome Father's Day. Thanks for the card, handmade card. That was really nice.
You're welcome.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Am I doing a good job?
Yep.
Are you distracted because you're watching American Dad?
Yep.
Yeah. So Emily Kai's distracted with the ice cream and the American Dad. Can you say something about the card that he made me?
Yeah, before he left on his trip with my dad, he said, "Mommy, come here," and he called me in his room and he showed me that card. He made it all by himself. I didn't even know he was making it.
Yeah.
And it was really sweet. It just talks about how awesome you are and that you've done like 17 Ironman.
So you said I've done 13 triathlons.
Or whatever. And then
17 triathlons.
anyway, and that he plans to follow in your footsteps because you're so awesome and he loves you.
That was the coolest thing.
Yeah.
And he made it all by himself.
He did.
Yep.
You inspired him.
Oh, I inspire you. Yeah, that's what it said.
It said that.
It was really.
It's right there.
Where is it?
It's right there on the bottom.
Oh, there it is. Here it says, "To Dad from Kai. I love you so much." And then, yeah, Kona's hot.
It's alright.
"Thank you for teaching me things I didn't know. To Dad." Oh, wait. And then it says, I'm getting sweat on it.
Dripping it all over it.
It says, "Man, my dad is awesome. He's done at least 17 triathlons. The one that I think is the hardest is the Ironman Texas. His Ironman Texas. I hope he will," this is written in pencil on a red cardboard paper, "he will make it to Kona, and if he doesn't, I'll still be pretty impressed. I'll follow him in his footsteps in big letters forever and hope to do an Ironman like him one day." Hey, that's really sweet. You don't have to do an Ironman for me to love you.
I know.
You know, right? These are just fun. I just like it. I just like to see you exercise and do your homework, right? Okay, so that's an episode. Oh man, it's hot. Sunday evening. It's 8:30 at night. Sun's going down. Just ran an hour, so 4 hours for the day. It's just about the sweet spot for a big day. I was talking to John Newman, and he was wanting more hours on a regular basis, and I was like, "Oh man, we start going over 4 hours in the heat, and well, just 4 hours period, day after day, on weekends and stuff. It starts to actually dig a hole more than improve you. So you got to get in quality and start looking at quality once you start going bigger like that. Get in some intervals and stuff, and that takes more recovery anyway. So it gets complicated. It's tough stuff. So I'm not really training for anything. I'm just having fun. So, all right, that's it. More interviews coming up, and everybody stay safe out there. Work the uphills, cruise the downhills, and keep the rubber side down. Out.